Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the
Come down off your throne and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting so long. Somebody holds the key, but I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. And I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Come down on your own and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting all these years. Somebody holds the key. Well, I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. And I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Ooh, and I can't find my way home. Ooh, and I can't find my way home. Can't find my way home. Well, I can't find my way home. Still, I can't find my way home. Yeah, I can't find my way home. And I can't find my way home.
There's an important lesson in all these Democrats wishing Trump a speedy recovery. Notes from the edge of the narrative matrix. All the high-profile Democrats who've been wishing Trump a speedy recovery from his assassination attempt after years of calling him an existential threat are the same people who now treat George W. Bush like a cuddly-wuddly snugglepoo after years of calling him an evil dictator. The enmity between these factions is a performance, like cage fighters who hug warmly after weeks of trash talk once their match is over, and admit that all the drama was really just about promoting the fight and selling pay-per-views. Their actions show you that their conflicts are fake, and they are no more enemies than actors on the stage are enemies. So why should you treat their performance as real? Why buy into the drama of their pretend elections and feigned opposition when they themselves do not? They're showing you it's all fake. Believe them. The two sides of mainstream politics are not fighting against one another. They're only fighting against you. Their only job is to keep you clapping along with the two-handed puppet show as they rob you blind and tighten your chains while your gaze is fixed on the performance. Here's a tweet from President Biden. There's no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation. It's not America, and we can't allow this to happen. Tweet from Vice President Kamala Harris. I have been briefed on the shooting at former President Trump's event in Pennsylvania. Doug and I are relieved that he is not seriously injured. We are praying for him, his family, and all those who have been injured and impacted by this senseless shooting. Tweet from Barack Obama. There is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. And though we still don't know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt. All of Trump's Democratic Party well-wishers prove that for all the whining in recent years about the death of decorum and how vitriolic U.S. partisan feuding has become, they really are all buddies who only pretend to believe the other side is an existential threat to the world. In Washington, they're all on the same team and have generally cordial relationships with people on the other side of the aisle. They just encourage normal Americans to feed all their discontent with the status quo into a hyper-emotional political environment where the barely existing divisions between the two major factions are inflamed by mainstream pundits and politicians, so that their anger will go toward the completely ineffectual activity of voting instead of more direct and revolutionary measures. From the perspective of the empire managers, it's hostile partisan rage for thee, amicable cocktail party relations for we. Every single day in Gaza since October 7th has been more outrageous, significant, and newsworthy than Trump getting a boo-boo on his ear. I've been getting a lot of shrill, hysterical comments from Americans insisting that it's somehow outrageous and inappropriate for me to use this political moment to highlight the criminality of the U.S. empire, as I do every day using every opportunity I can. I would like to make it clear that I have no respect for this. Less than zero respect. The emotional hysteria we are seeing around the assassination attempt on Trump is very similar to what we saw around 9/11 on October 7th. Which historically means some deeply unwholesome policies are about to be rolled out by the managers of the empire. Now is the time to be more critical of the imperial power structure, not less. If you find it horrifying and evil that I am using Trump's ear owie to talk about exponentially more atrocious acts of violence, I can only say, get a fucking grip. Pull yourself together. Your country is backing a literal genocide right this very moment. Stop getting swept up in the media-driven emotional frenzy of the moment. Get a hold of yourself. Stop thinking uncritically, and start acting like an adult. The Zionist Federation of Australia is trying to have an Australian journalist prosecuted for unlawful criticism of Israel. Yes, you heard that correctly, and yes, that is the actual story here. The CEO of the Zionist Federation of Australia, Alon Kasuto, is trying to bring a Human Rights Commission case against renowned former SBS broadcaster Mary Kostakidis for tweeting criticisms of Israel in ways Kasuto claims violate Australian hate speech laws, specifically sharing a speech by Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, wherein he says the words, "From the river to the sea, the land of Palestine is for the Palestinian people and the Palestinian people only." This comes just days after the Australian government appointed its first anti-Semitism envoy, a move many have feared would lead to crackdowns on speech that is critical of Israel. I really cannot overstate how crazy and evil this is. This is probably a good time to once again share my periodic reminder that Australia has no Bill of Rights, and it shows.
Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on?
Good morning and welcome back to the Trailer Park. I am Chanda-Masta and this is Trailer Park Pundit, and holy shit, we got a lot to talk about. I haven't seen you guys since Wednesday. A lot has happened, but I gotta tell you, Oz and I left a ton of stuff on the cutting room floor this morning. Of course, bigger news happened this weekend, and that was the assassination attempt on future President Donald Trump. I'm done calling him the former president. We all know he's the future president, right? If the deal wasn't done, it is done now for sure. Anyways, good morning. Welcome back to the trailer park. How is everybody? I see you guys filing in. Let's see. Well, just to get caught up, last time I saw you guys, I was super sick. I had just started a new hormone therapy like 20 minutes before I went live. I didn't think it would affect me the way that it did. And holy shit, I was so sick that day. I so apologize for rushing that show. I just wanted off air. I got in bed and just spun that whole entire day. But I had to get ready for the family garage sale. You guys know I was working my annual family garage sale this year. And it was sad. It was depressing. I got to tell you. We saw the economy, right there in our faces on display for that garage sale. Every year for over a decade, my family does a multifamily garage sale. I want to say last year I made about $1,200. And yeah, I had some better stuff last year, but I still had a lot of stuff this year too. And people weren't buying. People didn't want to pay anything. I mean, they were dickering over quarters. Like, it was shocking. Like every hour or so, we'd all come together and kind of group up. Like, how are you doing? And like, I don't understand what's going on. Like people are broke. People are broke. But I got to tell you, we had so much leftover stuff. And what we always do is we turn our garage sale into a free sale. And so everything that was originally in the garage sale, it gets put out for free and the community is allowed to go through it. I'm so terrible. Like, people come into my booth and I'm just giving them stuff like, oh, you want that? Take it. I'm not even like, here, you want this 42-inch Vizio TV? $15. It's yours. Like, I made some wheeling and dealing. So I was out roasting in 80, 90 degree weather for 3 days straight. And right as Saturday afternoon, we were shutting the garage sale down and turning it into the free sale, my phone starts blowing up. And I got to tell you guys, I tuned out. I tuned out for 3 days straight, right? I'm working on something else. I occasionally check in Twitter and check in my messages, but I'm pretty tuned out for 3 days straight of the world of politics. And I see Oz is just blowing my phone up, and I'm at the point where I'm driving around trying to grab all the garage sale signs so no Karen turns me in for not picking up my own signs, right? And I'm like, what the hell, Oz? You know I'm busy right now. Why are you blowing my shit up? And then I see a couple other people start blowing me up, and I'm like, okay, what the heck? So I finally get home, and I look at what Oz sends me, and I'm like, holy shit, they went for Trump. And then from then on, I have been in rabbit holes. I have been in a rabbit hole for the last 48 hours almost, or 36 hours, however long it's been. I have got all the video for you. I've got a couple of deep dives I didn't see anybody else do. And of course, we had a special Jimmy Dore yesterday. That was amazing. He brought in Due Dissidents, and they broke down a lot of what we were seeing. So some of it we will revisit. Some of it will be new. But we got big deck energy today, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's get this chat in here so I can say happy Monday to everybody. Where is my chat? Come here, chat. Get over here. There it is. Oh, wow. Look at you guys pouring in this morning. Good morning. Solar Moon, good to see you. John Kemper's hanging out. Mouse FS, good morning. Mouse, you said something earlier I agreed with, but now I don't remember what it is. Monday mornings, brain fog. Desert Mantis, good to see you. We got Mastermind Hour hanging out in the Beauty and the Boomer. I'm kind of just doing both chats, so they're just dumping into one now. So, Driving Miss Macy, good to see you. How are you? Let's see. Bringing some of my old Stones and Blondie. Oh, yeah. I love the old stuff, right? Can't believe those guys are as old as they're getting. That's for sure. Shane Piper, how's it going? Good to see you. Dig. Let's see. Who else is in here? It's so hard. Snow Himbo. I got to tell you, I got a crush on your content. I got to. God, you bring the good content. I love it every day. Keep it coming. And I hope you had a blast out there playing in the water. I wish I was out by the water this weekend, but sadly I wasn't. I went from the garage sale to crawling into my computer, like most of you guys for sure. Who else do we got hanging out this morning? Snork. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Snorky we didn't do a Beauty and the Boomer this weekend. I missed the shit out of you guys. I know Oz did too. And we will be back Saturday. I will be back for sure. If anything, there'll be a Beauty in the trailer park. Yeah, we didn't get to talk on Saturday, but Snorky did a kind of a get together where over on Discord where you were going to discuss hydroponic growing. You can grow hydroponic vegetables in the trailer park, and that was the whole point. I don't think you got a great turnout. We'll try again, Snorky, because I do think it's a good topic. I don't think it was the topic. We need better advertising. That's what it is. Let's see. Who else is having a problem with Rokfin? I could not get into my Rokfin app for the last 2 days. What is up with that? Why? I uninstalled it. I reinstalled it. Is it just me? It's probably just me. Good morning, Kate. Kate, you're on your way to Bellingham? Ooh, it's a little overcast and cloudy here for the first time in a couple of weeks. We'll take a break from the heat, that's for sure. But be safe out there. Hey, Manitalk, what's up? I see Mastermind Hour's hanging out. What's up, Mastermind Hour? Cowboy Kitty. Fingerman's here. Shout out to Oz the Boomer, who's sitting in the DR office right now. Shout out. I see you. Salty's Digital Dive is hanging out. Good morning. I listened to Kit this morning because I didn't get a chance to listen to AM Wake Up because my Rokfin wasn't working. But Kit did a great job like he always does. Kit's going to be on the ground for the DNC convention. So go to Kit and Hardlands Media for all of your DNC news. Hey, he's a native Chicagoer. Who else would you want to hear from, right? Him and Jimmy both. Did I get John Camper? I did, I think. Alpha Beauty B Ray, welcome. I can't on my phone. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I've never had a problem with Rokfin on my phone, but there's a problem now. Let's see. Let's get the Rokfin up. Hey, Vaholics, good to see you hanging out, and whoever else is over on the Rumble. And Rokfin, we got Kate hanging out there. Where the fuck is everybody? Kate, I think it's the app. If you're not on a browser, you can't get into Rokfin for some reason. I think they're having tech issues. I don't know. So that's just my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Rich from Wisconsin, how's it going? Unhealthy smoke today in Pendleton, Oregon. Desert Mantis. Yeah, that's sad. West Coast, are we getting ready to burn again? It's not as drought driven this year as we normally are, and that's because of the Pineapple Express La Nina, El Ninos this year. Who knows? It's hard to keep up. I know we haven't been chemtrailed in a couple of days. That was nice. To look out and actually see a blue sky, it's shocking. It doesn't happen very often. I think we got most of the chat shouted out. Let's get started on this deck. Hey, Kill Your E. Grey Gross. Good to see you. And yeah, Alpha Boomer B Ray. Good to see you. Rad Angel. Did I get Rad Angel? Okay. We'll do another shout out a little bit later in the show. Let's get the main deck in here. Let's get the big deck. We need the big deck for this show. Definitely. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Is Little Chanda working? Yes, Little Chanda is working. Very good. I have to reprogram it every show. I don't know why. So weird. Okay. That was Caitlin Johnstone. Excellent message from her. At the end of the day, it's all just smoke and mirror. And, these guys, we never wanted anything bad to happen to Trump, even though we keep going around telling everybody he's fucking Hitler, right? Oh, he's a dictator who's going to destroy our country if he gets elected. I mean, come on. That's the rhetoric that we've heard from MSNBC for years now, and CNN, and from the politicians like AOC herself, right? So we're going to get into all that. Let's get through the mundane crap of this. Well, what is the problem here? There we go. Got to get the mouse to move. There we go. And fair use. We're on YouTube this morning. I've been told that YouTube's going to crack down on people for showing pictures of the president from that day because you're not allowed to depict violence, physical violence on YouTube. So I noticed Jimmy ran most of them, but Jimmy had heard that too. I heard Jimmy say that to the Due Dissidence guys out there. So I'm being a little cautious just because, hey, this is the only monetized channel we have left and we don't want to lose it. But if you want to help me out, that would be great. We haven't made anything this month. Nothing. I definitely am not getting paid by YouTube this month. But if you want to help us out and donate, you can do super chats over at Beauty and the Boomer, or you can do PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or, buy me a coffee. There's so many ways to help me out. But most of all, I love our Patreons. Our Patreons are our steadies. We're going steady if you're over at Patreon, I got to tell you. And some of you guys have been with us for almost 5 years. That's just mind-blowing to me. And because of that, I want to do some appreciation stuff for the Patreon this month. We're going to do a Patreon only stream. I know other creators do that. I hate clicky clubby shit, I got to tell you guys that. I really do. But we're going to do something special. I don't know if we're going to do like a movie night or we're going to do something that is only for the paying Patreon members. Because we appreciate you guys. Well, you guys keep the lights on every month. You keep the YouTube premium paid. That's really important. So y'all don't have to watch commercials. We don't have to watch commercials. And, yeah, this situation's still going on. And I still need help. I'm hoping by August 1st it'll get a resolution, but yeah, we're still in limbo. Anyways, this is what we all saw the other day, right? The first thing out, and CNN reports Trump falls on stage, right? That's the first thing CNN reported was that Trump had fallen on stage. No, Joe Biden falls on stage. Trump was shot. That's totally different, CNN. A couple hours into it, they even had to admit what the hell was going really on. And there you see his super awesome Secret Service detail protecting the president, right? Yeah, they were doing their job that day, weren't they? Yeah, we're going to talk about them not doing their damn job. And why is that? Why is that? I spent a lot of time chasing down so many different angles of this story over the last 48 hours. So I pretty much, I was busy with the garage sale all weekend. So I just cleared my Monday deck and I told Oz, build it, go for it, because Oz and I work together. Even if Oz isn't sitting here on Trailer Park Pundit, he's writing a good portion of the show. And I got to tell you, that was an amazing opening song that he chose for us. Love that song, Oz. Beautiful, beautiful voice. Thank you. So I come in Friday night and Oz has got half the deck already wrote. Yay, good. But then come Sunday morning, we are just ripping stuff off the deck because it didn't matter anymore. So much of what we already had on the deck didn't matter. So, yeah, we had to cut quite a few stories. So this is going to be a pretty Trump-centric show, I got to tell you guys. But I think you'll see some stuff here that you haven't seen anywhere else. Anyways, let's move on to the next, the actual video. So this is what this is the first video I saw. And was it just me? Or was it kind of slow to come out, the longer extended full versions of what happened? I didn't see them till probably Sunday morning. We just got these mainstream media clips right off the bat like this, right? We were told Trump's okay. And we got this clip.
That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
What are we doing? What are we doing? You are the Secret Service agent. You should know what you're doing. You should have rehearsed it a billion times. And you know what you're supposed to be doing? Securing the asset, which is Trump, right? That's your fucking job. That's what you're paid to do. These guys look like bumbling idiots. And we're going to do the whole run down and I can't holster my gun. We're going to get there. So this is what we first saw, right? Trump immediately, you can tell he immediately knew. He hit the deck. As soon as he felt his ear, and he realized that was blood, he hit the deck even before the Secret Service members reacted or responded and knew what was happening, and were diving on him. He was down, right? The minute I saw the video, and you see that Trump's tilting his head, and we're going to talk about the tilt that saved his life, definitely. A lot of people want to say this is a setup. We're going to get there. I can't buy it. Who lets somebody shoot a freaking 16 millimeter round at their head in hopes that they're a good enough shot not to hit them? Yeah, that's not reality. And so I brought you the full 2 minutes. This is shocking to me that it took 2 minutes and 30 seconds from the time that he shot to get him off of the stage and into a vehicle. Don't you guys think that's a long time? I felt like that was a really long time. So we're going to play it. And then as we go, we have videos that are going to break it down a little bit more, right? So, okay. So here's the full 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I want to say.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, what are they doing down there? I like how the shortest agents get in front of him. God, his adrenaline had to have been pumping. They're like, get down. Look, she can't get her gun holstered. Oh, she finally got it. Okay, so first off, we have to, condolences to the family of the man who was murdered. This was murder. I mean, plain and simple. And to those that were injured. I mean, how heartbreaking. You go to a Trump rally and you don't come back for this family. And I think that's being lost on the media, right? It's always lost on the media. And but what's shocking is it took them over 2 minutes. The trained Secret Service took over 2 minutes to get Trump off that stage and get him secure. And come on, we all know he wasn't secure while he was still standing there. He's a foot taller than the agents. The guy was aiming for headshot, so them protecting his body. Okay. Headshot still would have taken him out. There's so many questions that we haven't got answers to. Like, is there a manifesto? Was he a lone wolf shooter? Do you guys believe the lone wolf shooter? Yet again, another time in history that we have a lone wolf shooter. How is that? How is that? We're gonna break it down because I think I think we might have a Manchurian candidate here. Come on, I'm allowed to go to the Fringe. I am, because that's who I am, and I'm in the trailer park. I don't have to responsibly say there's no way that this gay guy wasn't MK Ultra. And we're gonna say, the high probability he was MK Ultra, just because of the fact that the minute it broke who he truly was, he was in BlackRock ads. And I brought it. We're going to talk about it. But first, let's talk about the Melissa McCarthy style Secret Service agent, right? This woman, I don't know if she's been named. Has she been named yet? I don't know. But she is definitely being owned. I read the only allotted one full-time. The rest were temps, all pulled because of the Jill Biden duty. Yes, Snorky. Okay, we'll talk about that. So Trump has always had the same security detail since he got elected in 2016, Secret Service detail. He's very short-staffed, for one, because the Biden administration doesn't want to give Trump much coverage. And if you remember, just like a month or month and a half ago, they actually put forward a resolution bill that would have pulled Trump's detail altogether, right? Because it's not like he's a legit former president of the country, which he is, but they act like he isn't, right? And that he didn't serve 4 years. All Americans from the time we're little fucking kids on know that all former presidents have a security detail till the day they die. Go watch Guarding Tessa with Nick Nolte, right? That's what that whole freaking movie was about back in the 90s. This aging widower of a president. Anyway, so we all know that, he's got detail. Well, Jill Biden just happened to be in Pittsburgh this week, too. So the little bit of staff that Trump did have that has been working 7 days a week with no time off, they took some time off and they brought in a B team. Trump definitely had the B team with him. I think he only had maybe one or two of his regular agents there on the ground. And so Jill Biden got all of it. They got the good Secret Service, right? These are kind of the fuck ups and the misfits from what we're being told. But there's so many questions. So yeah, let's see what this says. Confused, panic, female Secret Service personnel slammed for incompetency while rescuing Donald Trump from firing. Yeah, she has been slammed right now. A lot of people are questioning the Secret Service. What the hell? You guys are supposed to be like the most elite unit in the freaking world when it comes to protecting world leaders from assassination. And that includes from high vantage points, right? We're told you guys go in months ahead of time. So a lot of snipers, trained snipers over on X have came forward to tell you their opinion of how bad this was fumbled. And they're like, this makes no sense that somebody could climb a ladder with a gun, get on a roof that's only 150 yards away from where the president is speaking, have a direct line of sight, and then get shots off before there is a return of fire. So a lot of trained snipers out there saying, there's no fucking way this happened. It has to be an inside job. Somebody had to have looked the other way so that guy could get up on that roof. Somebody was looking the other way, and I got the video. You guys know I do. I brought so much damn video of the people in the crowd pointing out the guy 3 whole minutes before the first shot is fired. 3 whole minutes before the first shot is fired, you have everyday Americans who are not on the inside of the rally. They're on the outside watching on big mega screens. And all you Bernie people out there, you know what this is. We many times didn't make it into the rally. Too many people got there late. It already started, whatever. You're on the outside. and you're watching on big mega screens, right? Some of them didn't even want to go inside, right? They rather stay out and drink their beers and barbecue and just listen to Trump. They didn't have to see him. You know, a lot of times in these rallies, you get in and the stage is so far away, all you're seeing is a little ant anyways, right? So it's better to stay on the outside and watch the big mega screen. And they're pointing this guy out. They're shaking down the police. They're tracking them down. They're stopping. Multiples of them. I would say I've probably seen at least 25 people that were pointing out, pointing up, yelling at officers, yelling at Secret Service. He's right there. There's somebody on the roof. And they did their, what? I don't see nothing. And we were told that, there was a police officer that did get up there on that roof. He popped his head up. He saw the gunman, and the gunman swung around and pointed the gun back at him. So the cop ducked back down the ladder. And then the kid turned around, and I call him a kid because 20 years old is a baby to me, man. And he got shots off, right? That's what we're told. So it seems like the police somebody finally took somebody in the crowd serious and said, okay, I'll climb up there and see what the hell is going on. But in the meantime, there's snipers directly across, right? Trump's Secret Service snipers, all of them have them, that are there, and they should be seeing the guy, right? From all of the angles, it looks like they should have been seeing the guy. We're going to get into that breakdown, but let's watch this woman. Okay, so this is when they get Trump to the car. Now, she never pulled her gun out. You can go watch all the videos, and there's so many different angles of videos. I couldn't even bring them all if I wanted to. For one, when she's on the stage, she doesn't go for Trump to protect Trump, right? She gets behind the podium a good 2-3 feet behind the other service members, and she's just ducking down. But the thing that people are questioning is, why did she not even pull her gun? Somebody is shooting at the asset that you are hired to protect, and you didn't even pull your gun? People are questioning that. I'm questioning that. Isn't that your job? I mean, that's the first thing I saw. But let's watch her now. So they got Trump into the vehicle, and she can calm down for a second. And she has her holster for her gun improperly placed on her hip, so it's too far back, so she can't just slide her gun in, and that's what you'll see here, her fumble with it. Oh, what is going on here? There we go. She finally got it. She finally got it. I see mall security in her future, I just got to say. Maybe she'll make an effective mall cop. I'm not sure. But a lot of people calling out the diversity hires, right? Because we see this from all of the 3-letter agencies. Equality, equality. It doesn't matter where you fall on the scale of education and qualifications any longer. It's do you match or do you mark the box? Do you mark the box of being a woman? Do you mark the box of being a person of color? Do you mark the box of maybe you identify as a different gender? You know, those type of boxes are what the Democrats and the 3-letter agencies have really been focused on for the last 10 years, right? So to prove my point, I brought you just a little clip from the Secret Service themselves. Now we get videos like this from time to time from the 3-letter agencies. Like we saw one for the CIA not too long ago, but here is the Secret Service's version.
50 years ago today, the Secret Service appointed the first female agents to its ranks.
Coming in, I was young and excited and ready for that challenge. That's exactly what the Secret Service gave me.
Voters popped up and I said, that's what I want to do, and I set my heart to it.
Gunawan makes it look easy, but she is the first woman to ever join the elite motorcade support unit.
Destination 1 mile, 6 minutes.
All right, guys, what do we have going on the 22nd?
It is possible to be a mother in the Secret Service. It is possible to obtain promotions through hard work.
The sky's the limit when you come to this agency.
I think that this is an exceptional agency with people who do amazing things every day.
Being a part of history is probably the best part of
Oh,
this
you
show.
guys are a part of
feel
history,
like
I promise.
I am constantly making a difference, and I can go home and safely say that I'm leaving my imprint on the planet.
You see, the White House, come to work to protect the president, and then I go home and I protect my daughter.
Well, I hope you do a better job of protecting your kids, because... So, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that women are not capable of doing the same thing as men, because we've proven that over and over for the last 40 fucking years that we definitely can. But here's the thing. When are we going to start admitting that there's a huge fucking difference in physical strength, in all physicality when it comes to men and women, right? I don't think that the playing field's ever going to be level till we fucking admit that most women don't have the same physical upper body strength as men. Period. And you'll never convince me of that. As a woman who lived through 35 years of domestic violence, of brawling men in my life, starting with my father up to my husband's, never. No matter, I don't care how little the man was, he still had more upper body strength than me. Yeah, I could get some good licks in, but, at the end, I always got my ass handed back to me as a woman. I don't care. That's the fucking reality of it. People can argue all day long. So, I don't know what this means. It doesn't mean anything for the future of hires. They're going to keep doing the check the box DIY hires. And why is that? Because BlackRock pays them to do that. We've talked about it multiple times. Yeah, it's the same BlackRock that the gunman happened to be in a commercial for. What? So weird. I did bring that. We will get there. But let's talk about, a lot of people want to say this is a setup, right? You tell me, they set this up. The guy told Trump, you turn your head at the right time and I'll get you right in the ear. No. If Trump had not looked up and said, look, he did. He physically said, look. At the same time he physically looked, he turned his head. And you can clearly see right here, clearly see right here that he nearly missed being killed. Just, nearly. I think probably even Trump didn't realize how close it was, probably till hours later when he got home and saw or got settled in and saw this schematic. I'm sure he had to have, holy crap, right? I know America is for sure. So here is there was so many eyewitness accounts. Now, I know everybody showed the BBC one. I saw you guys saw it over at Jimmy Dore yesterday, right? The BBC was there. They immediately started interviewing people. And the consensus on the ground from the eyewitnesses was that there was more than one shooter, right? We heard that from the BBC. They were like, oh, no, there was multiple. But that has not been confirmed. The media is saying it was a lone wolf shooter, like always. He had no help. Lee Harvey Oswald had no help either. Hinckley had no help. It's so crazy how these guys never have any help. But this was a ER doctor who was in the crowd who responded to the people that were killed in the crowd. So let's hear from him.
I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around and was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. Oh, and no. So I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got him up on the bench. Shot that you saw? Then I did CPR, did chest compressions, as well as I breathed for him. One person? I was the only one that did it.
Wow. Snorky says the area of the brain that would have been impacted was sensation and language. So back here, your back lobe is sensation and language. And had he survived it, he would not have been able to communicate and might not have had any perception. Yeah, I agree. But how often do you survive a 15 millimeter or 16 millimeter round? You're not going to survive that hitting you in the back of the head. I mean, that guy right there is talking about brain matter from he was a fire chief. Sadly, he was a fire chief. He died protecting his wife and daughter. He immediately stood and sheltered them from the shots that were coming in. And of course, we know that 2 others were critically injured. I think they're stable from the last report that we got. And the memes, the Trump memes have just been off the hook. This cemented Trump's win. Trump is the future president. Look, Snow Himbo, look who I have on the deck. I gotta tell you, I love your content. Let's see. It says, how the hell was such an obvious line of sight not secured? Yes, how was it not secured? Okay, I'm gonna play this video and then I want to talk about the line of sight, right? Because I assumed that too, right? From the videos that we're seeing, it looks like the Secret Service snipers are looking right at him for a good 3 minutes, right? That's what it looks like. Why didn't they take the shot? Well, that roof was angled, right? And that guy came up the roof and he only popped his head up once. And when he did pop his head up, that is when the sniper took the shot. But this is on the ground. This is outside. This is them pointing out there's a guy with a gun on the roof a full 3 or 4 minutes before the shots rang out.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. We can see the guy there.
Oh, this was after. Okay. Or is he still alive?
I think they hit him.
Okay, he's gone at this point. So there is video that I have where he's alive, and you see a woman like just shaking cops down, like he's right there. What are you talking about? He's right there. That was definitely after they got him. That sniper put that shot straight in. Here is another eyewitness, and I don't remember what he's talking about. Let's watch it. Let's go small Chanda. There we go.
Hi there. So I have a witness right now. He had just showed up at the Trump rally just a short time before it started, and he actually tells me that he saw the shooter on the building, and his name is Benjamin Macer.
Like
Thank you so much
did.
for staying around. Just take me back. What were you doing before the shooting happened, and then what did you see and hear?
I was just standing there like everybody else, waiting for Trump. And as Trump started, I noticed 2 officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seen a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots when the shot started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was, and then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child, and we got out, and that was the end of that, and I went and left, and that was all.
So the viewers have some perspective. Behind us, okay, is the American Glass Research Company, okay? Can you kind of describe the building behind us, the tan building right there? Can you take a look at it? And then where was the shooter exactly?
There's more buildings behind the tan building that we can see, and we were back there, and there's two or three buildings behind that, and he was on both of them. I assume both of them when he went on that small section from one to the other, and that was.
Okay, so the reason I let that play a little longer is because he says there's multiple buildings there, multiple buildings. So what do we know the Secret Service to do months before a president or a former president shows up in an area to give a speech? They secure all locations, all high points that somebody could get a shot off 200 yards, even 300 yards out, which is pretty freaking far out, right? They didn't do that this time. There was multiple warehouses within 150 to 200 yards that were not secured at all. And like we said, you know, they pulled most of his Secret Service detail and he had the B team. So I guess it wasn't even a thought, right? Wasn't even a thought. So everybody's talking about this sniper here. The sniper had him in his sights for 3 minutes. That's what it looks like from all the video, right? You see the sniper up there. You see he's looking through his scope. You see the guy behind him looking through his scope. I mean, they're kind of off center from each other. And people are like, why did he let him take the shot? Why didn't he kill him? Well, wouldn't you know, on a message board yesterday morning, this message pops up that says, my name is Jonathan Willis. I am the officer in the famous photo of the two snipers on the roof at the Trump rally. I had came here to inform the public that I had the assassin in my sight for at least 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So he saw his head pop up. He saw, because, you know, if you watch the videos of the gunman, he's down a little bit lower on that pitched roof, and he climbs up there, army style, right? And he kind of puts his head up, and then he goes back down, and he kind of scoots back down, and then you see him kind of spin around, and I assume he's dealing with the cop who just came up the ladder at that moment. So he knows he's got to act fast, right? His time's up. The cops found him. So he turns, and that's when he starts firing the shots. But what this guy says next, listen to this. But the head of Secret Service refused to give the order to take out the perp. So this guy, the sniper, who is there to protect Trump, says, I've got him in my sights. He's got a gun. He's got a rifle. Do I have permission to fire? And the head of Secret Service says no. 100% the top brass prevented me from killing the assassin before he took the shot at President Trump. Now, I got to give you guys a disclaimer here. Yes, we have no way of confirming this was the actual sniper that posted this on this anonymous message board, right? But he puts his name up there. So obviously he's willing to claim it. And I haven't seen anybody poke holes in this story. That's for sure. I haven't seen anybody say, no, this isn't true. Somebody just made this up, right? And we haven't seen the Secret Service deny this at all either. So let's see. The message went on to say, I didn't follow the order, though. As soon as the shooter opened on Trump, I returned fire, disciplined strict orders not to engage. So he had been told not to engage, but as soon as that guy got a shot off, he did engage. I had eyes on the shooter for 3 minutes watching him fiddle with the rifle and adjust the scope. It was obvious he was a shooter, yet I wasn't allowed to engage. After I killed the shooter, I was arrested and questioned by the FBI and just released an hour ago. Already lost my job for not following orders, but I'm glad I took the shot anyways. Wow. So they arrested the guy who killed the gunman, the sniper, who that's what his job is. That's what he's hired to do. And then they held him in custody till the very next morning, fired him, and kicked him out the door. For what? For doing his job? He did his job. So that begs to question, why the hell is the head brass at the Secret Service not giving two shits about a gunman fumbling around with a scope and rifle for 3 minutes, 150 yards away from Trump giving a speech? Does this make any sense to anybody? Yeah, that's insane to me. Like I said, I can't confirm this. It was posted as anonymous, but he put his name out there, and I'll bet you some sleuthy journalists could get out there and confirm if this is the actual guy or not. I mean, what he's saying makes sense to me. Doesn't make sense to you? I don't know. Just my conspiracy. And I'm sticking to it. So this came from Oz. Oz says, the most dangerous, violent rhetoric against Trump comes from The View, Morning Joe, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, CNN, MSNBC, Rob Reiner, Stephen King, Mark Hamill, Rachel Maddow, George Clooney, The Lincoln Project, Robert De Niro, and so many others. This has to stop. They are out of control. Out of control. Yes, right? I mean, how many times have I brought you clips in the last 6 months where they are saying it's the end of the world if Trump is elected? Kiss your democracy goodbye. Look at Project 2025, how hard they were beating the shit out of fear. Be scared of Project 2025. I mean, all of my so-called progressive friends over at the Facebook, losing their shit all week. They're still over there losing their stupid collective shits over this. Oh, you think it's bad now? Wait till Trump's elected and 2025 rolls out on you. You fools. You fools. That's all I got to say about it. You make me nauseous. You've learned nothing since 2016. If you still think the Democratic Party has any kind of interest of your best interest at heart, you are a fool. Fools. All fools. And yeah, I agree, Oz, 100%. The rhetoric that comes from the people like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, I don't care if Joe is in a coma. He's a better president than Hitler, right? Oh, I'm leaving the country if Hitler gets elected. That's all we hear from the mainstream pundits on mainstream crap media. And now they want to walk it back and say, no, it's just all in fun, right? We don't really mean that he is Hitler, right? No, not at all. It's so gross. So gross. And just because of that, Morning Joe pulled the airing of Monday's show because of the Trump shooting. Why, I wonder? Why, Mika? Why, Joe? You guys couldn't do a show this morning? Because you know you're guilty of this rhetoric, right? That's what I see. But don't worry. They'll be back tomorrow with all of their nauseous bullshit, right? Telling you how great Joe Biden's doing. And I like this meme here. They never would have overlooked a rifle on a rooftop. Never would have allowed an unsecured, elevated position. Use your head, man. And that is the late, great Donald Sutherland, who just passed a couple weeks ago, sadly, right? He's right. I mean, this meme is absolutely right. An elevated position. We all have watched the movies for the last 40 years. The Secret Service doesn't let anybody get up high and assassinate people. Unless it's done by design. We know that. We absolutely know that. Okay, so this is, I want to say, another angle from behind. Washington Post was there. There was a lot of mainstream media on the ground for this. I think this is one of their guys, maybe. Look at the Secret Service agents in this, though. The way they retreat and how they're acting weird. It's almost like they knew it was coming.
To our country, probably 20 million people.
He's like, move, you're going to get shot.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So much weird video of them almost like people in the crowd that were behind Trump looking like they knew it was coming. So reports claim 20-year-old shooter at Trump rally used a $12,000 rifle. What? Where does a kid who's a dietary aide, this guy, he wanted to be a game developer, right? He went to school, I want to say, for 2 years to do game development. I don't think he was an artist. I wouldn't say he was the greatest artist, but he was an artist, and he wanted to do development, but he hadn't been hired by anybody. So in the meantime, to make a living, he was a dietary aide at a nursing home, which tells me he put bibs on old people and cleaned up after they ate, pretty much, right? And you don't make that kind of money working at a nursing home. I'm sorry. Been there, done that. Yeah, I got questions. Where did this kid get this gun from? I'm not saying that you can't. We all know you can in this country. It's just been I've just been grazed by a sniper, but let me stand up as high as I can so he can try again. That was my thought the first time I saw the clip in the video, right? Because I didn't see it for 30 minutes after it happened, half hour, 40 minutes after it happened. And the first thing I thought is, what the fuck? Why is he standing up? But they had already, all of the Secret Service agents that were piled on Trump on that stage, they already knew that the gunman had been neutralized, right? But they didn't know if there was two. I mean, that's a lot of assumption there to let Trump stand that tall. And why do the two shortest Secret Service agents protect his front? Does this make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to me. So Trump rally, Secret Service, local law enforcement. That's right. The Secret Service eventually, after a day, threw local law enforcement under the bus saying, hey, it wasn't we weren't supposed to take care of that. The local guys were supposed to take care of that. We were just dealing with the inside of the rally. It was local police that were supposed to deal with the outside of the rally. That's exactly what the Secret Service said this week. You can believe it or not. Believe it. Trump, Oz was adding some stuff this morning. Let's see what this is. Trump versus Bullet, Biden versus Stairs. Yeah, they're not even comparable, right? Where CNN comes out and says Trump fell on stage for the first hour after the attempt on his life. That's how shitty CNN is. And now they don't want to take any responsibility for the harmful rhetoric that has been put out there that has radicalized so much of the left. The left has lost their fucking minds, and we've been saying this for the last 8 years. TDS is a real thing. There should be shrinks out there specializing in TDS because you can make a shit ton of money. There's so many Americans whose brains are broken from watching CNN and MSNBC and CBS and, all the mainstream shit media. And now they want to act like, no, it's not us. That's a great reface, Oz. I like that. Thank you. Let's see. I had to bring you a United spot. You guys know I haven't brought a lot of United spots, but we deserve to laugh on this Monday morning after what we've been through this weekend. So let's have a little giggle.
Hey, shouldn't we shoot that guy on the roof over there?
Where?
Right over there. About 150 yards away.
I don't see anybody.
He's right there on the roof.
Oh, yeah, I see him. Hang on, let me ask the boss.
Hello?
What's up?
What's going on? I'm at the church, so make it quick.
Sorry to bother you, boss, but there's a guy with a gun on the roof over here.
Are you at the Trump rally?
Yeah.
Well, how far away is the guy with the gun?
How many yards?
About 150.
150 yards, boss.
Is Trump on stage yet?
Yeah, he's talking right now.
All right, well, just let me know if the guy with the gun does anything.
Well, He looks like he's gonna pull the trigger.
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions. I mean, are you sure he even has a gun?
Boss, he just fired his weapon. Trump's been hit.
Well, it was probably an accident.
Boss, what should we do? Trump shitting up?
Well, who's helping him up?
The Secret Service?
What the hell are they doing?
What should I do, boss?
Well, shoot, I don't know. All right, I'm taking the shot. No way!
Of course, those were the first memes that we saw out there was Hillary Clinton, like, what do you mean he missed? Or Melania, right? There was a lot of Melania spoofs about how she was trying to take out her husband. Come on. We did see her statement. She put a statement out, and I really appreciate her statement, right? She said, you know, all of the rhetoric has made basically these people think that my husband is inhuman, that he's just a political machine, and somebody almost snuffed out everything about Trump that we love, his family loves about him. They have a point, right? I mean, we can bag on Trump all we want, and we do. We always have, and we will continue to. But she absolutely had a point. This dangerous rhetoric, it dehumanizes people. And sadly, this was predictable, and we predicted it. Just for the record, Oz and I have been calling this for months, and you guys know it. You know it. We called it. So I like this TikTok because after I spent hours, right, we were seeing video drop like, oh, this is the shooter. This is the shooter. No, this is the shooter. I didn't have a clear, defined understanding of who the shooter was till midday yesterday because there was so much fucking misinformation put out there by, yet again, the mainstream media. This TikToker, he went through all the rabbit holes just like y'all and we did. And I love his analysis because I think it's pretty spot on. So I'm going to play it.
All right, you guys, Trump got shot, part 2. Stay with me. There's so much to unpack. This is a fucking conspiracy layer cake about to explode, so stay with me. Check this out. First of all, people are saying, oh, it's staged, it's fake. First of all, people have lost their lives. Second of all, this was planned from the inside. There's a big difference between planned and staged. So sit the fuck down and let me show you what's really going on. Now, about the shooter, there's been conflicting reports coming out. First, it was Mark Violets. Now it's this guy, Thomas Matthew Crooks, which is a 20-year-old from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And he is a Republican. But hold up. Why would a Republican donate to the Democratic Party? Second of all, have we not seen this movie before? I mean, let's go back in history. You have John Wilkes Booth, who killed Lincoln. Then you have Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed Kennedy. Then we have Thomas Matthew Crooks. All of them have 3 names. Are we seeing a pattern here? And if you guys don't know anything about JFK and his assassination, just look it up because it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. It was actually the driver inside who turned around and shot him. But you guys aren't even ready for that whole story.
Yeah, you're not ready for that whole story.
Then we have the counter sniper that was protecting Trump. Now, here's a question. They saw the shooter 3 minutes before he actually shot. They said that he actually was ordered not to shoot, allegedly. This had to be planned from the inside because if you saw the shooter, and that's the thing, I've been to a rally, you guys, the security is insane. There's no way you're gonna miss somebody 150 yards out and not see him and not take action. And then the sniper was wearing this bracelet, which is linked to Kabbalah and Judaism. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, you guys. Now, here's another thing. Here's footage behind the stage of Secret Service moving people out the way just moments before shots were fired. Now, why would they do that? Everybody say it with me. Planned. Why else would they be doing that? They knew something that Trump didn't. But it gets even more bizarre. Check this clip out of this guy predicting this whole thing. I got the
whole video.
Rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
Oh, it gets better. This was a commercial ad that was aired last year in Bethel Park, featuring the shooter himself. It was filmed at his high school and sponsored by none other than the biggest asset manager in the world, BlackRock. Follow the money. Everybody say it with me. Planned. You guys do know they fund most wars, right? Now, let's not forget the site of the shooter where he was placed. This ladder was placed in advance before the shooting. Now, why wouldn't the Secret Service lock off this building before the rally? Now, here's another weird thing. George Soros' son tweeted
This
this
is
at the
weird.
beginning of the year, talking about crime and inflation. Look at the symbolism. There's a shot fired, and this money adds up to 47. Now let's think about it. Trump will be the 47th president if he wins. His agenda is number 47. And if you guys remember that video game Hitman, he was Agent 47. Say it with me now. Planned. Then we have this fucking weird guy who always shows up to Trump rallies. They're saying this is JFK Jr. He didn't flinch at all when the shots were fired. That's a whole nother rabbit hole for a whole nother day.
Yeah, that is.
You thought I was done? They're saying the other shooter may be a red herring, and this might be the actual shooter. His name is Maxwell Urich, and he's connected to Antifa. He got arrested at an anti-Trump rally back in 2016.
We'll talk about it.
He went to jail, got out. So I don't know what to believe anymore. Last but not least, we have this crazy ass picture of the bullet passing by Trump's head. I don't know if that's real or not, but I just thought that was a crazy picture. In conclusion, all in all, I think this was an inside job, not staged. That's a big difference. And I think that they want to spark a civil war.
Yes.
And I guess we'll see what happens. Also, this falls right into my theory, like I said on part 1. They don't want an election, and there's tons of reasons why. Go check out that video. But let me know what you guys think about all this. Let me know below.
So yeah, this guy had some great points. It was all stuff that I was coming across down threads that I was going through. You know, the Agent 47 one, I don't give that one any merit, but some of the other ones, absolutely. The Alex Soros one, yes, I absolutely. Who is Alex Soros? Who's his bedfellow right now? That would be none other than Uma Abedin, the former aide to none other than Hillary Clinton. Isn't that odd? So odd. I don't know. There's just too many coincidences for me. And we're going to talk about the weirdos in the background. But let's talk about Tucker. Because Tucker, just like us, he predicted this, right? And it was easy to predict because of everything they've done to Trump. They came for him. They impeached him. The January 6th, they tried to blame on him after they blew it out of proportion. And we all know that Secret Service was in on that too, right? Wasn't it admitted that there was all kinds of 3-letter agencies that were inciting that shit for January 6th? Let's see. They have charged him criminally how many times? They try to take his businesses away from him. They're trying to take money away from him with the kook E. Jean Carroll. I mean, if they could politically and financially and legally, criminally try to come after Trump for it, they have. They have. The only thing that's left was exactly what we saw this weekend. So let's hear this clip from Tucker.
They called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times, and every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him.
You know, I'm not the biggest Tucker fan. I appreciate Tucker, but I don't think he's the smartest tool in the shed. I'll give you that. And even he saw it was coming because there was nothing left, right? The media's done all they can do. The politicians done all they can do. So I brought you guys some of the tweets that were going around. Let's start breaking them down. Did you know that the U.S. intelligence officials, now who the hell are these officials? Who knows? That's the CIA, of course, said on July 11th, just 2 days earlier, that breaking U.S. intelligence officials say Russia has a plan to interfere in the 2024 election to help Trump. So if you take out the Russia part, it says breaking U.S. intelligence officials plan to interfere in the 2024 election, right? They're always blaming it on Russia. So there you are. I saw somebody say there's going to be a way they're going to try to blame this on Russia. They were setting it up to blame it on Russia from the get-go. The Trump, the Simpsons, of course, predicted that Trump would get assassinated. I guess that was a different timeline. Who knows? We all know the Marmot got into the Large Hadron Collider, and we've been in a different timeline ever since then. So, yeah, that didn't come to fruition. But Derek Broze was one of the very first I saw out there, and this is what Derek Broze had to say. He said, I'm just going to say it. I don't trust this. Too early to say for sure, but I don't see this being good either way. Either staged, designed to create more sympathy for Trump before he comes in, or implements the great inversion false awakening, or potentially real and will be blamed on leftists used to justify more government in some capacity. Now, I do absolutely believe they will use this to roll out some more authoritarian control, because that's what they want at the end of the day. They want a civil war, and I absolutely agreed with that last guy who said at the end of the day, they want a civil war. Had Trump not turned his head, where would America be this Monday morning? That's my question. You know, there is a timeline in the multiverse where that is the reality, right? We've got to stop hating our neighbors and remember who the true enemy is. It's them. And all day long, I have Democrats telling me, who's them? I don't know what you're talking about. You're the problem. I think it would be allowed to happen. Trump is just a puppet. He doesn't need to be in the know to be used in this. The agenda is civil war, ordered out of chaos, the creation of false idols, and all of this ending with a global reset. Well, we know ultimately that's their goal. A global reset and global control, right? The globalists want this. I see the corporatists and the globalists kind of as the same people, right? And they're on both sides of the duopoly. Think about it. Had they been successful on Saturday, the Republican Party would have gone into the convention this week, because the RNC convention's this week, and they would have been able to pick their candidate, because let's face it, they don't like Trump either. The establishment Republicans, they undercut Trump constantly. We saw it with January 6th. We've seen them throw him under the bus multiple times. The only time they ever outright come out and support Trump is when they know they have no choice, but they have to, right? Like this week. They will come out and they will sing the praises of Trump this week because they have no choice. But don't think for 1 second they wouldn't have gone into a smoke-filled back room, much like the Democrats, and selected for the people of the country who their choice was going to be, right? Because we don't have elections. We have selections. We know that. We've talked about it for many years, the selections of the United States. But civil war ultimately is the goal. So we saw a lot of Democrats out there, and you guys know I opened with Katie Johnstone talking about how all of the Democrats are sending, speedy recovery wishes to Trump, and all of a sudden they're all one big club again, right? When last week it was divisive rhetoric that just would, tear the country apart and incite weak-minded people to want to act, right? They got to save their country because they've been told by the mainstream media for frickin' years now that Trump is going to destroy the country. Well, we lived through 4 years of Trump, and guess what? The trailer park, we did great. The economy was fucking fine. It was actually better under Trump than it had been under Obama. Gas prices were much lower. That was affecting us in the trailer park. But right now in the trailer park, we are hurting worse than we ever have. So let's hear what Obama had to say. Obama said, there's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Yeah, tell that to your cook. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our policies, our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Well, Trump recovered pretty quick. I gotta tell you, he made his 9 a.m. tea time the next morning. And if you haven't seen the video, it's kind of cute. You see all the little old ladies in the clubhouse losing their shit. Mr. President, what are you doing? Like, Trump's like, I'm not dead, bitch. I'm going golfing. Jay Inslee, my one and only governor, Democratic governor, says violence has no place in politics. Ever. I hope whoever perpetrated today's attack is held to account. Well, I would say he was. Our thoughts are with all those who attended the former president's event, and I join with many others who are expressing gratitude for the Secret Service and the first responders. Yeah, I don't know, Jay, if so many people are patting the Secret Service on the head right now, but definitely first responders, right? Definitely. They're the first line. Just vomit worthy. Gross, right? But in the same breath, they're telling you Trump's going to end our country. House Judiciary, GOP, says, Joe Biden, it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Yes, that is right. On a private call earlier this week, Joe Biden told Democratic operatives that it was time to put Trump in a bullseye. Weird language, right? It's always about language with these guys. Caitlin Johnstone says, that was a close one. America almost had 2 presidential candidates with no brains. Yeah, that would have been a nightmare. Good point, Katie. Good point. And let's talk about the rhetoric, right? I had to bring you guys Dark Brandon. Because, you know, the Democrats all of a sudden, they're like, oh, we have no dirt on our hands. We didn't do this. We would never say anything bad about Trump. What are you talking about? Let's watch it.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. And they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. The willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy. More and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. There is no place for political violence in America, period. None, ever.
Yeah, right? I mean, this is the rhetoric that Biden has put out there. This is the rhetoric that the establishment Dems, even the so-called progressive Dems, have put out there, like AOC and Pramila Jayapal. That's all we've heard, right? Even Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. Oh, my God, Trump. But now they didn't do it. No. They didn't do it. Lady Alex, I did throw you a wrench. I'm sorry. I did catch it, though. Hey, if you're out there and you don't have a wrench in either of the chats, I got both chats popped up, let me know. I'll get you a wrench. The past 9 years, he's a Russian agent. He's a threat to democracy. He's literally Hitler. He must be stopped at all costs. We condemn political violence. We don't condemn political violence. Are you kidding? We're genociding a whole fucking country right now. Wake the fuck up, people. Let's hear from Miss, I got to give her a new name. Let's pick a vodka brand and name her it. You guys put it in the chat. Tell me what's the best vodka. I don't want the Grey Goose. Come on. Nah. She's more like Stoli or something. Anyways, hear from Nancy.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
So much violence.
Some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
Hollywood, you're responsible for this shit.
An awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Take a look at what happened.
Is it going to stop? You think the Dems are going to start peddling back this rhetoric? They can't continue forward for the next 6 months or 5 months, however long, saying that he's Hitler and he's destroying our country, right? I think they're going to have to slow their roll a little. I guess we'll see. If they change their tune a little. Did you guys see the media taking a ration of shit? So if you've ever been to any of these big rallies, they always put like a media pin. It's kind of like it's another riser. It's another stage. It's kind of normally, kind of in the middle. And that's where all the media can go and get their shots and get their video at. So here they are in the bullpen taking a ration of shit from the Trump supporters that are at the rally.
You remember what you got. This is your fault. You. This is your fault. Every asshole. This is your fault. This is your fault. You. This is your fault. Your fault. This is your fault. You want this.
I gotta agree. I have to agree. They have to take some responsibility for this. And just like that, everyone stopped talking about Project 2025. For the most part, I still have a bunch of progressives over on my Facebook page, I noticed, that are still stupidly crying about it, right? But they're actually getting their asses handed to them by other progressives, so that's good to see. Call them out. So images of Trump's assassination attempt. Thomas Matthew Crooks is 20-year-old gunman who attempted to assassinate Trump during a Pennsylvania rally on Saturday. Crooks was positioned on the roof of a manufacturing plant over 130 yards away from the Trump rally. Wow, only 130 yards. Let's see. Butler Farm Showgrounds. When he fired, grazing Trump's ear and killing one rally attendee, Secret Service snipers immediately neutralized Crooks who was found with an AR-style rifle. Law enforcement officers were seen at the suspect's home in Bethel Park, PA, early Sunday morning, source New York Post. So does this guy have a manifesto? It's kind of looking like he might. I mean, there's some rumblings that there might be a manifesto out there. I will let you know. I'm keeping pilled for it. So what we know so far about Trump shooter, the shooting suspect, Thomas Matthew Crooks, the FBI named the man who shot at Donald Trump during a campaign rally as Thomas Matthew Crooks. Crooks is alleged to have opened fire while former U.S. president was addressing a crowd in Butler, Pennsylvania, leaving one audience member dead and two others bodily hurt. The 20-year-old was shot and killed at the scene by a Secret Service sniper. Yeah, but that's not what we were told at the beginning, right? And we're going to talk about what we were told about at the beginning, these other names that were out there. But here's the only few pictures that we have of this Thomas Matthew. He was what you would call an incel, right? I don't have any other way to describe it. We call them incels. Like, this kid was picked on unmercifully in high school. We've seen interviews, yesterday, kids that went to school with him. He only graduated 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right? So, we're not getting a lot from him, but what's crazy is he doesn't seem to have any social media. I don't know how you live in this day and age, how you go to high school all through the 2020s during COVID and not have any social media, right? Even the kids that didn't have social media up until COVID started social media because we were all trapped in our houses with nothing better to do. But this kid still didn't get any social media. But yet he wants to do a game designing. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to me. Let's hear from Harry Sessions, because we haven't even talked about the fact that this kid was registered as a Republican. And I'm going to tell you why he was registered as a Republican. But let's hear from this misinformation idiot and what he has to say. Because remember, Harry is paid by the White House to do these TikToks. He doesn't do a TikTok without Joe Biden writing him a check. So what did Joe Biden pay him to say? No, come on, back up. That's a Monday. It's got to jump on me. Here we go.
We have some breaking news. It's just been confirmed that the shooter at Trump's rally in Pennsylvania was a registered Republican. So, of course, just moments ago, the FBI confirmed the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. However, a number of news agencies, including MSNBC, have confirmed that he's a registered Republican. Voter rolls are public, so people looked up his name, Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. The status is active, his date of birth, and the party is Republican. And it also seems like this individual's political views shifted over time, because they made one singular donation to a more liberal PAC on January 20th, 2021, but then later registered as a Republican and voted in the 2022 midterms. So yeah, the shooter was a Republican. There were a lot of Trump supporters claiming today that the shooter was a crazy liberal or a crazy Democrat or something like that. But that's just not true. That's why it's always great to wait for official confirmation on these things from news agencies or federal investigators and things like that.
Okay, so that's so gross. Now, you got to understand, and you guys and I, we have talked about primaries, right? We have talked about caucuses and primaries from coast to coast for years now. And you guys know that there is a concerted effort in the closed primary states by the Democratic operatives to get people to register as a Republican and vote against the Republican nominee. They don't care who you vote for, just as long as you're not voting for Trump. So that was strategic that guy was registered as a Republican. Who knows? Maybe he had this planned out for 6 months and that's why he did it, right? They'll think I'm a Republican. But when you go back and you look at who he was giving money to during the last election cycle, it was the Democrats. Why would he give the Democrats money and then pop up on a closed primary roll as registered as a Republican so he could vote against them? We talk about the campaigns, right? We've talked about it multiple times where, I'm going to go register as a Republican so I can vote against Donald Trump. How many of them did that? So many. I would say there's probably millions in the country that did that this time around. So I ain't buying it, Harry. I think you're misinformed, and I don't think you know. Let's hear from Kid Rock, because, Kid Rock is pissed off. Oh, come on. Stop jumping. Why are you jumping on me today?
You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me.
It's not very intimidating. I don't know. I'm not very intimidated by that, Kid Rock, I just got to say. And put a damn shirt on, white boy. Nobody wants to see that. Let's see. Okay, so I brought you the BlackRock ad, which this is the short version of the BlackRock ad. Apparently, there's two versions. There's a long version that BlackRock pulled down yesterday morning, which I haven't seen. If you've seen it, let me know. And let's check it out.
Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
So a lot of people seem to think that this kid was a part of a special unit. And you see the circle up there. It says Unit 3. Apparently, he was a part of a unit that BlackRock put some attention into. It couldn't be like an MK Ultra type of thing, right? Not a Manchurian Candidate type of thing. No way. BlackRock do stuff like that. They don't have the capability. Oh, but do they? I think they do. They've been trying to make super soldiers for 20 fucking years. What are you talking about? Of course they do. Let's talk about who BlackRock is. Why does this matter? Why does it even matter that this kid was in a BlackRock video, commercial? Does it matter? Well, let's talk about BlackRock.
Company and Larry Fink hold such power. Why is it that you have not heard of them more? There is power in anonymity. If BlackRock is barely featured in print publications and news channels, it is because they want it to be so. If they wanted, they could feature every day. BlackRock currently owns 18% of Fox, 16% of CBS, and 13% of Comcast, which in turn owns NBC, MSNBC, and Sky. If any of those companies wanted to make a decision, they would have to also consult with BlackRock before doing so. The same is true for Google, a tech giant currently worth $853 billion. Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter are also not exempt, and neither is Disney. Thanks to their incredibly diverse investment portfolio in media alone, BlackRock essentially owns 90% of the world's media. If you don't know about them, it's because they don't want you to. Why? Owning a portion of the world doesn't come without its share of scandal or conflict. In 2020, BlackRock became the first foreign company to be allowed into China's mutual fund industry, which means they can now invest and own parts of Chinese companies, including ones that are blacklisted by the United States. One of the first investments made by BlackRock was in Hikvision, a security and communications firm that essentially makes facial recognition software for use by the Chinese government. But this money isn't just BlackRock's or Larry Fink's. It comes from pension funds and bank accounts of ordinary civilians who have unknowingly given money to BlackRock in the past. If we take into account BlackRock's ownership over Western media, banks, e-commerce stores, social media, food and beverages, and many, many more industries, it becomes evident that the company has a wealth of data on us. They may do with it what they please. TikTok's data harvesting pales in comparison to what BlackRock is capable of, given how they have everything from our bank account numbers to our personal tastes and preferences. As BlackRock's investment in China grows, so will China's influence on the world. And our personal data, which was hanging on a thread to begin with, will quickly end up in the wrong hands. With the trajectory BlackRock has been on...
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody questioning what the hell? BlackRock is the most evil company that controls everything in the world. And then what? There's Vanguard. And like Mastermind's pointing out in the chat, who's the number one investor? BlackRock into Vanguard, Vanguard into BlackRock. They are the same. They are the same. And don't think for 1 second they don't have the capability to MK Ultra somebody. If you still are in the camp that you don't understand MK Ultra is real and that you can break the weak-minded and make them do what you want, you better go out there and do some damn research, because the science has been out there for 50 fucking years, longer than that. They just started admitting it the last 20 years, right? CIA got caught with their pants down. Well, all of that shit went private via BlackRock, right? It's not on the government's books anymore because BlackRock's doing it at the end of the day. And that's why it matters. That's why it totally matters. You know, this kid might have been a lone wolf. My bad, I forgot to set that one. Might have been a lone wolf, but was he MK Ultra? Probably would be my guess. So, guy falsely identified as Donald Trump's shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks. So, okay, so this guy, the first thing we saw about the shooter was a picture. Some weird angle. Maybe I have it on the deck. We basically just saw his jawline and the side of his face, right? We didn't have a name yet, anything. So people were doing reverse image searches, trying to figure out who this guy was. And for some reason, they tagged this guy and thought it was this guy. So this guy decided to be funny, haha, and put out a video saying you got the wrong guy. And here is the video. Oh, there's a picture.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
So that's one guy that was falsely involved in this, right? And yeah, this Hillary meme, it never gets old. What do you mean they missed? Yeah, what do you mean? And this was another one this is who I thought originally was the shooter, right? When I went to bed Saturday night at like 2 o'clock in the morning, basically the media and X was saying this was the kid, right? This is Maxwell Urich. Now, the FBI had already had dealings, law enforcement has already had dealings with this kid at Trump rallies in Pittsburgh from previous visits. So Max Urich, of course, this picture was taken from this yearbook, this high school yearbook, and that's the only picture we saw of this guy other than this one. So the story goes, 2 jailed in a Trump rally fray, Pittsburgh AP. 2 Pittsburgh men who pled guilty to assault charges in an altercation with police officers during an anti-Trump protest almost a year ago have been sentenced to 3 to 12 months in jail. Police say Keenan Harper, and 32, and Maxwell Urich, 30, fought with officers outside of Pittsburgh's convention center during the April rally for then candidate Donald Trump. And so the media was like, this guy's got gauges in his ear. Did the kid that got killed, the shooter, was his ears gauged? There was a whole to do, right? Turns out this guy was just misidentified, because that's what our media does, right? They don't vet shit. They just put it out there. Thomas Massey, I think Thomas Massey's growing on me, guys. Remember when I was like, oh, Apex coming for Thomas Massey. Who gives a fuck? Let him come for him, right? What can we do to protect him? If there's a way we can protect Massey, I think we should do it, because he seems to be one of the only sane motherfuckers out of that 532 group, or 535, that makes any sense to me. And he says the same bureau that investigated the Las Vegas shooting and the January 6th pipe bombs, yeah, remember, we've talked about them many times, is now investigating the attempted assassination of Trump. This is also the same bureau that raided Mar-a-Lago. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of this soon, right? Yeah, I'm going to hold my breath, Thomas. Why didn't the Secret Service, why didn't they have Secret Service on the roof? No reason to have the CIA and Secret Service on the same roof. Haha, that was funny. So my first thought was, oh, this got to be CIA, right? Come on, admit it. It was your first thought too. Admit it. But let's be honest. If this was the CIA, I don't think they would have missed, right? Just got to say, the CIA has better snipers than that. Just my thought, just my theory. But that doesn't mean that they didn't get BlackRock to Manchurian candidate this kid. So I'm not totally ruling out their involvement. I'm just saying I don't think it was directly them. And what else do we got here? Donald Trump. Okay, so this is what Donald Trump had to say later on in the day. This was his statement. I think it's only fair for him to be, heard out. He was shot. However you want to look at it. He says, I want to thank the United States Secret Service. Of course he's going to thank them. Trump is not going to throw the Secret Service under the bus. I said this to Oz that night, like, Trump's not going to say a bad word about the Secret Service because they are assigned to protect him for the next 5 fucking years, right? The rest of this year and 4 when he wins. So, of course, he's not going to talk smack about them. But, behind closed doors, he's probably like, what the fuck? So, anyways, he says, the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that took place at Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person who was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known about this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper ear part of my right ear. I immediately knew that something was wrong, and that when I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place. Trump, much bleeding took place. So I realized that is what was happening. God blessed America. Now, as soon as I read that statement, I was like, oh shit. We thought that Trump had a demigod, God complex about himself as it was. Now the motherfucker's ordained. Now he's been tapped and chosen by God to be here to fight for our country. And you wait for it. The next few months, it's all going to be very religious with Trump. I have a feeling. Trump landed in Milwaukee. He had already wrote his speech for the end of the RNC. He ripped it up and he rewrote it because his original speech was very Biden-centric. Biden messed the economy up. Biden's done this. Biden's done that. And he said after living through this and realizing that God has chose him, he has a bigger mission now, and that is to not only unite the country, but to unite the world because, hey, God spared him. So mark my words now, it's going to get much more religious with Trump. Democrats tried to strip Trump's Secret Service protections just months before the assassination attempt. Of course they did. Yes, they did. Pelosi, just days before the rally shooting, Trump must be stopped. He can't be president. I brought you that clip last week. I did. That's what they always say, right? Say the line. Say the line. The FBI, he was on the radar. They're always on the radar, right? That's what the FBI does. They just put people on the radar and never do shit about it. Vushi here, Vosh showing off his white boy tan. Let's see here. Vush says, this is the effing retard that got killed at the Trump rally. Effing laugh my ass off. So he's talking about a family man who was there, an American who was a former chief of fire, right? He was a firefighter. And this is the type of hate speech that this douche puts out there. And how is this not hate speech on X? If any of us put this out and we pointed it at the Democrats, they would shut us down for hate speech. But, he's allowed, or Destiny's allowed to put this crap out there. I'm sure Vush is saying the same shit because he's just as bad. I see him as the same guy. My bad. Anyways, let's see. His posts are violating the terms of service. Why is this allowed? Why? I don't know. You could be petty and report this shit if you see it, I guess, if you feel like you need to. But at the end of the day, these guys are CIA ops. We all know it. So there was some questionable pictures. I grabbed a couple of them. Questionable things. Like, for one, this woman down below. Come on, we all saw the video of this woman who was behind Trump. It's like she knew. She put that sign up to her face, and then she didn't really react. She didn't respond. I didn't bring the video. I just grabbed a screenshot of it. But that was weird. You got some questions. And then a lot of people think that the Washington Post picture of the bullet whizzing by Trump is digitally altered, that it's not real. I don't know. I know the mainstream media owns it, so it probably is real. And then this guy. Who was this guy? He's wearing, for one, he's wearing a George shirt. Remember that magazine that JFK Jr. put out there? And it had Cindy Crawford on the very first episode, and it said dodging bullets. That's what that dude's shirt is. The shirt he's wearing in that picture, you can't see it. It says dodging bullets. And the craziest thing is this guy's directly behind Trump. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't move. He doesn't duck. He doesn't respond at all. He just keeps they just keep their phones going. Is that bad of the society we live in? Either they knew something was up or they're just that, brain dead. I don't know. But a lot of people couldn't help but compare this guy to John Denver. Oh, come on. That's sad. Denver's been dead for a long time. Or is that the same guy? I don't know. So weird. So many conspiracy theories. I wanted to give you guys kind of a wrap up from Chris Hedges. I think what Chris Hedges had to say was so important. And Chris says it best. The efforts by the Democratic Party and much of the press, including CNN and the New York Times, to discredit Trump as if our only problem are embodied in him are futile. The smug self-righteousness of this crusade against Trump only contributes to the national reality TV show that has replaced journalism and politics. This crusade attempt to reduce a social, economic, and political crisis to a personality of Trump, it is accompanied by a refusal to confront and name corporate forces responsible for our failing democracy. Chris, you know we don't have a democracy. We're a republic, but yeah, it's failing. And it's not just Trump's fault, but they want to blame it all on Trump at the end of the day. And we know it. I see a lot of people talking about the fall of Rome. Ironically, a very similar occurrence happened during the fall of Rome. There was a point, Rome was the death of 1,000 cuts is what they call it, right? And we're an empire that compares to Rome. That's why we talk about it. And they had a power elite corporate stranglehold that had came in, and there was an attempt on one of their lives. So you can draw a direct parallel to the fall of Rome on this one. So let's hear what Chris has to say. Of course, this was recorded before this weekend, but I still think it's a great breakdown.
If all of your money is being siphoned off into the war industry, then you get what we get, which is an infrastructure that is decayed, road, bridges. We have major cities that don't even have clean water. Half the country living in poverty or near poverty. And so as the country is disemboweled, the harsh tools of control that are perfected on the outer reaches of empire then brought back to the country to maintain control. So that's wholesale surveillance, militarized police, drones. We have the largest prison system in the world. So militarism, the great socialist Karl Liebknecht and the inception of World War I called the German military the enemy from within. That's essentially what it is. They will sacrifice the country on the altar of war, and then they engage in military adventurism in futile attempts to regain a lost hegemony. Empires aren't actually destroyed. They commit collective suicide. And I think that's what we're watching.
Absolutely. We're watching collective suicide of this country, right? I mean, we all know that we don't need to be hemorrhaging this money out to these foreign wars, to Ukraine, to Israel, to, Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya and Yemen and all the places that we've attacked and sent our tax dollars to kill children, right? That we are committing suicide as an empire, and we're allowing it to happen as the people of this country because, we just get on board with the mainstream media and the talking figureheads. So just to point out, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. still has no Secret Service protection. Does the Biden administration have no sense of decency? I could agree on this one. A lot of people are like, oh, he's not a serious candidate, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. It's high time that Biden get off his fucking ass, quit being a dick, and send RFK Jr. some security. Not like any of us think Bobby has a chance, but Bobby's father was assassinated in a political rally. Come on. Does this not, the harmful rhetoric that we have watched, especially when it comes to RFK Jr., because, the left loves to push that he's a quack freaking anti-vaxxer, right? Oh my gosh. So, I think it's time that Biden step up and approve it. And it's only right. He's been in the race this long. He's in the race. He deserves it. Not that they do very good work, obviously. He's probably better off to hire his own security. And I see a lot of people telling Trump, you need to hire some private security and get rid of the fucking Secret Service because they aren't doing you any favors. And I agree with that, right? Oh, this is so terrible. Oz dropped this on the deck earlier. I want to say, oh no, this isn't the one. There's one coming. Oh, it's so heartbreaking. Jax, I got one from Jax here. So breaking, dozens of Palestinian children were injured in an Israel occupation shelling of a UN school. The Al Nusrat refugee camp in Gaza. How much is left of that camp? I mean, they've blown up every refugee camp there is in Gaza. Jack says, let's not get all hyper-focused on Trump so that we forget Israel is still brutalizing Palestinians and that they bombed yet another school in a refugee camp. Yeah, let's not. I agree. Great freaking point. Jack's great point. Let's ban Israel from the Olympics. I'm down for that, right? But, we won't. We'll feature them like that, like they are, we treat Israel so well. We treat them like, like they are gold. Khaleesi, we like Khaleesi here. Breaking Mawasi camp massacre, over 100 killed and 270 injured in a devastating series of attacks. More than 100 people have been killed and 270 injured. F-16 aircrafts unleashed violent raids, dropping bombs weighing 50 kilograms on tent housing. Oh my gosh, look at those. They're just little tents. They're not even tents. They don't even have roofs, basically. We should be so ashamed. Be ashamed. I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed. This is us. This is our country. And everything is a lie. And no, I don't have a fucking link. Yeah, that's the story of the day. At the end of the day, I had to bring you Claire Daly. Claire, we miss you, but she's still out there doing the Claire thing, right? You need to be more bothered by Project 2025 than the debate, right? This is what we saw from progressives all last week. Yeah, I like somebody fixed it. They put Gaza right over it. You need to be more concerned with Gaza. You really do. Let's hear from Claire. And the disgusting EU and how they kiss the US's ass and NATO's ass, right?
Next Thursday, on the 285th day of the genocide in Gaza, at 1 p.m. in Strasbourg, the new European Parliament will vote on whether to approve Ursula von der Leyen for a second term as the President of the European Commission. Ursula von der Leyen, the face of EU complicity in war crimes, who draped Europe in the Israeli flag, who told Israel, we stand with you now and in the days to come, as the bombs began to drop on Gaza 9 months ago, who jetted off to Tel Aviv to grip the hand of Bibi the Butcher and pledged our support, your support, for a genocide, whose statements were then quoted by Israel's lawyers in defence of mass murder at the International Court of Justice, whose support for Israel has been unwavering over month after month of unimaginable horror inflicted on the people of Gaza. Why is she the candidate?
Why?
Deeply unpopular, hated in fact by millions of European citizens. The only institution she should be in is The Hague.
Yes.
So why is the European Parliament even voting on her? The answer is that despite everything, 2 weeks ago, the leaders of EU countries, all of the presidents and prime ministers, met in private in Brussels and did a deal. And they decided there was nobody for the job but Ursula, because that's how democracy works in the European Union. According to former President José Manuel Barroso, there is no credible alternative to Ursula von der Leyen. So just like in the United States, the only person for the job is the worst person for the job.
Yes, Claire killing it. That's like a 5-minute clip, but that she's got such a great point. Why was she chosen? Because they went into a smoke-filled back room like they always do, and they chose to who is going to represent all of us, including you and I at the end of the day. So absolutely gross. We're changing our bank. We're changing our name to Freedom Bank so that your soldiers can honestly say that they're fighting for freedom. Yeah, that would be the one and only Jacob Rothschild. Ugh. Pretty good meme, Oz. Let's see. This is just what made it that was left over on the deck from Oz and I ripping stuff out all day yesterday to add more of the Trump story. Let's see. A person in close proximity to the Mob 432 explosion would be instantly vaporized. Oh, thanks. That's a good thought, Oz. And by the blast of the heat, and shockwaves and pressures. Israel used it in Han Yanis. Image the conditions of this child's there. Oh my gosh, yeah. God. Terrible, Oz, terrible. Let's see what else made it. U.S. monsters are supplying bombs to obliterate Palestinian civilians. Gaza for 9 months straight. U.S. officials. We condemn all political violence, right? This is what we heard from Israel yesterday. They condemn all political violence, unless it's their political violence, and then they'll do it to small children. You know, that's what we do. That's what we support. Yeah, the hypocrisy knows no bounds on this. This is terrible. Oz dropped this on the deck this morning, and it pissed me off when I woke up and saw this first thing. When humanity closes its eyes, it becomes the specters of its own namesake. July 15th, 2024. That is heartbreaking. That is so heartbreaking. That's what our tax dollars are paying for. You could have bridges and roadways and, affordable housing for the homeless, but no, we're going to continue to kill children. Children in tents at that. Okay, we got to talk about Bernie Sanders and AOC. Their timing wasn't that great. Of course, Bernie came out, a day before the assassination attempt on Trump. Full endorsement of Biden. Full endorsement. This is not why I supported Bernie Sanders in 2016 or 2020, but this is what he's done consistently since 2016, and that is to lick the boots of the Democrat establishment and to beat the drums of rhetoric that Trump is the devil, right? So enough. Sanders calls on Democrats to stop infighting, and back Biden. While the acknowledgement that Biden may not have been the ideal candidate, Bernie Sanders doubles down on the president's ability to defeat Donald Trump in November. Bernie, you delusional old coot. Are you effing kidding me? He gets the fuck off pie for Monday morning. Bernie Sanders, fuck all the way off. You can take a whole cup and no one gives a care. A dash of kiss my ass, some fuck yous, and a pinch of blow me. Stir it and shove it straight up your ass, Bernie Sanders, because no, Joe Biden is not defeating Trump. He's not. You got to be out of your mind if you think that. So let's see. We must not forget Gaza. Okay, well then why were you approving money to go there? To bomb them, Bernie. Yes, you did. You voted for that shit. We know because we were heartbroken by the fact that you were supposed to be our anti-war candidate, and now you vote to bomb children. But hey, you clear your throat and say you don't like it, so, you're still the good guy, right? In your own eyes. Let's see what this is. I don't know what this is. Like I said, I was busy all week. This is the first I'm looking at some of this.
Senator, why do you continue to say that Israel has a right to defend itself when it's committing a genocide? It's not defense. They're murdering Palestinians. They bombed a school just 24 hours ago. How can you keep saying that it has a right? It's on occupied land, the land of my ancestors. They killed my own family.
Shame on you, Bernie. Oh, how did I ever fall for that guy? You guys know I have classic bad taste in men. And that was the prime example of it. Oh, that's sad. That's so sad. Who's doing a big boy press conference? Did you see Biden's big boy press conference? You know what he almost said? Make America great again. Yeah, oops. He's like, let's make America, really good. At least he caught himself, right? AOC got her endorsement from DSA rescinded. What? They finally stepped up and said, okay, we can't pretend any longer that she's progressive. I'm kind of a little shocked by DSA on this one. I know Sabby probably did a good deep dive on this. So if you're looking for info on this, I would say go see Sabby Sab because she, I'm sure, covered this. Status of DSA national endorsement for Rep AOC. So it says, we recognize that AOC has taken many courageous positions on Palestine, such as co-sponsoring House Resolution 3103, 786, and 496, naming Israel's genocide, as well as opposing House Resolution 894. However, members have raised their concerns regarding a number of her votes. This is what we're talking about. They love to talk progressive, but then they vote with the Democrats like they always do. So, including a vote in favor of House Res 888, conflating opposition to Israel's right to exist with anti-Semitism. There you are. AOC also co-signed a press release on April 20th. Oh, not 420. That supported strengthening the Iron Dome. What? She never voted for that. Do you know how many dumbass progressives I've had call me out and say, she never voted for that. She voted here. She abstained. She was just there, right? She didn't vote for the second vote. Like, they always have some kind of argument. And finally, AOC recently hosted a public panel with leaders from the Jewish Council for Public Affairs lobby for the IHRA definitions of anti-Semitism. On this panel, she conflated anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism and condemned boycotting Zionist institutions. This sponsorship is a deep betrayal to all of those who've risked their welfare to fight Israel's apartheid and genocide through political direct actions in the recent months and in the past decades. Well, here, DSA, you finally did something fucking right. You finally got called out by your own damn paying members saying, hey, when are we going to actually hold their feet to the fire and hold them accountable for some of these votes that they're doing? AOC, yet again, talking out both sides of her face, because that's what AOCIA does. For sure. Yeah, just a little shocking. Just a little shocking to me, I thought. But well-deserved. Totally well-deserved. Empire Lies. Let's see. Bernie Sanders says in the first 100 days of his second term, he will expand Social Security and Medicare benefits. Lower childhood poverty by making the child tax credit permanent for working families. Oh, these are all things that Bernie is trying to sell you that Biden's going to do. Biden has destroyed Medicare and Social Security, and I'm here to tell you, as somebody who's dealing firsthand with Social Security and Medicare under Biden now has premiums for 85-year-old freaking Social Security people. Why should you be paying a monthly fucking premium for your Medicare Part D? Never existed under Trump. Never existed under Obama. Exists under Biden. Just started at the beginning of this year. I don't believe for 1 second that Biden will do any of this. Absolutely not. Because behind closed doors, he's said multiple times he wants to gut Social Security. So all of you out there crying about 2025, Project 2025, guess what? They all want it. They're all corporatists at the end of the day. Nobody is coming to protect that. And you know what? As a Gen Xer, I have accepted that I'm going to pay in 50% of my wages for my whole entire life for a system that is not going to be there when I hit 64. And that's only 14 years away. So it's going to be gone. I know it. You know it. We all know it at the end of the day. They'll pull the football back out from underneath of us. What is this? Joe Biden. I have more blacks in my administration than all of the presidents combined in major positions, cabinet positions. I don't know if they called for them to be hung out, but I think they're convicted of murder. I don't know what this is. Let's play it.
The president's blunders from an interview earlier this week, something that civic media agreed to as part of the conditions of securing the interview with the president. Now we are watching this backfire. The unedited interview has been released, and just wait until you hear what the president said.
In addition to that, I have more blacks in my administration than any other president, all of the presidents combined.
Shouldn't matter.
And major positions, cabinet positions. I don't know if they even call for their hanging or not, but they said they're convicted of murder.
What is he even talking about? Oz, you're going to have to explain that clip to me. Biden got caught on a hot mic during an interview with that. That's crazy. So 223 million per day since February 2022. Let that sink in. That's insane. That's just Ukraine. That doesn't even include Israel, right? Let's see. I almost joined Special Forces, torn rotator cuff, followed by an asthma diagnosis stopped me from the following, though. And I thank God every day because you learned that the U.S. military has never been the good guys. You have to live with regret like this guy. Okay. Yeah. I mean, sorry. The military's just figuring out we're the bad guys. We're the terrorists.
I'm at the point now where I don't think I fought for the country. I fought for some politician's view on something. And I remember one dude in particular that I killed. Like, I shot his buddy, and then I came through his room. I killed him in front of his wife in a bedroom because he went for a gun. And I think about him now, and it's like, all right, why did I kill that guy? Well, because he went for a gun. Okay, but why did he go for a gun? Well, because I was in his fucking room at 2 a.m. Well, why was I in his room at 2 a.m? Well, because George fucking Bush was pissed that Saddam Hussein allegedly wanted to kill his dad, so we invaded. And then I start to think, was this guy funny? What if I met him in Paris over a coffee? Yeah. Would we have actually liked each other? Probably. And I just kill him because a politician sent us here for weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist?
Wow, that was a powerful little TikTok, right? And that is why more than 22 a day of our service members come home, don't get the mental health support that they need, and end up self-harming. And I think that number's actually gone up into the 30s now, right? And it's going to continue as we unjustly go around the world kicking in doors and killing children. Tom Hartman, you're always shocked about the truth. I'm sorry. You need to... This guy's had a full lobotomy. That's all I'm going to say. Him and Morning Joe. Ew, not some Mad Cow. What are you trying to ruin my week, Oz? Dropping Mad Cow on my deck on a Monday morning? Empire Lies. Let's see. The Biden-Harris headquarters says... President Biden showed a sterling impressive command of the issues. Oh my God, seriously? She's saying that he shows an impressive command of the issues at his press conference. Yeah, we all saw the press conference. He is not only strong on foreign policy, he is just fundamentally right on foreign policy in a way that he talks about it. He just shows you he is a master of foreign policy. Oh my God. Rachel Maddow is trying to say that Biden is a master of foreign policy. Let's hear it.
So, and I won't go on at length. I will just say, though, you noted that there were some moments of, startlingly impressive command of the issues. This is just my opinion.
No.
He is not only strong on foreign policy.
Oh my gosh.
Just fundamentally
How
right
embarrassing.
on foreign policy.
I'm embarrassed for you, Rachel.
And again, your mileage may vary. That is how I feel about the way he talks about our relationship with our allies
Don't let
and
me
our
smile.
relationship with NATO. You can hear
Okay.
his command of the issues,
it's
particularly
Joyanne
in
Reid.
his asides, like mentioning as an offhand way that it was Turkey really that needed really to be talked into an expansion of NATO that included Finland and Sweden. Talking
Because Turkey
about the
knew
numbers of
better.
Russian troop losses in Ukraine. Talking about the fact that he turned in his notes after he spoke privately with President Xi, alluding to the fact
who?
that Trump
The
had all those
teacher?
weird meetings with the Russians and Putin in which he had no note taker present. I mean, it's even in the little asides where it just shows you he is a master of the foreign policy field and has been for decades in his career in the Senate, the vice president, and the presidency.
Live from a Rhodes Scholar. Yeah, I just can't. She actually said that with such a straight face that it made Joyanne Reid frickin' laugh. Oh my gosh, so gross. I mean, we cut all the crap where Whoopi Goldberg this week was like, I don't care if he's dead and in a coffin, I'll vote for him, right? Oh no, not Chris. Okay. Oh, boy, Oz is just bam, 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 hitting me with the nasty media this morning. Let's see. Wellness check needed. Did the last words on O'Donnell happen, or Lawrence? Yeah, this is Lawrence O'Donnell. Let's see. Come on, let's listen.
The most masterful, televised presidential press conference about foreign policy. There have been other presidential press conferences that have exhibited mastery at different points by some presidents, but on foreign policy, complex foreign policy, involving the Middle East and the situation in Ukraine,
God.
This is as good as it gets with an American president.
Oh my God, it's as good as it gets. We're so screwed then. Yeah, somebody needs to do a wellness check. Can't unsee this now. Yeah, they do look like Beavis and Butthead, don't they? It seems like Gavin Newsom has been tapped to be the official DNC spokesperson. And if you've noticed, all the emails that have came out of the DNC lately have been signed by Mr. Gavin Newsom. I don't know, just something to watch for. Do you think at this point that the argument about replacing Biden is moot? I think after what we saw this weekend, nobody they chose from the Democratic side would even poll next to Trump. I don't think it matters. They might as well just button down the hatches, know they've lost, accept that they've lost. AOC doesn't want to accept it, right? We saw a couple of Democrat establishment come out yesterday and say, well, we're just resigned to the fact that we know that Trump's going to get 4 more years. And AOC was like, I don't accept that. Biden can beat him. No, he can't. He couldn't beat him, especially going into this weekend. And now that Trump has been touched by God. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. You guys just need to accept it. This is gross. Except when you've lost. You've lost. Rest in peace, Ed Schultz, 1957 to 2018. Yeah, this was such a sad loss, wasn't it? And you guys know I believe they did something to Ed. I think they hit Ed with the CIA heart attack gun. I really do. He was a threat to the media. He knew the truth. He understood how the media worked because he was media his whole entire life. He had the respect of everyday Americans because they had been listening to him for years. And he was the only one that was out there really calling out what the media was doing to Bernie Sanders. So, yeah, rest in peace, Ed Schultz. I don't know what this clip is, but let's listen.
There was more oversight and more direction given to me on content at MSNBC than there ever has been here at RT. And I think that it's very sad that that story is not getting out.
A lot of stories he was trying to get out.
Many times I was told what to lead with on MSNBC.
Of course.
Many times I was told what I was not going to do. And I've got a story that, had I not been involved in it, I would have never believed it. And Phil Griffin, who I consider a friend to this day, was a watchdog. Far more than anything
signed
I'm
off on your death warrant.
Exposed to here at RT America.
Okay, so most all of you have seen that. That was one of the most infamous last interviews that got put out. And ironically, he blows the whistle on MSNBC. Their bullshit, how they controlled him while he was there, how great working for RT was. And isn't it just ironic that he had a sudden heart issue and dropped dead right after that? I don't know. So this is encouraging. A Lakeland woman fined by the city for obscene sign that said fuck them both, 2024, awarded $30,000 in a First Amendment lawsuit. So, hey, a win for free speech. We will take it. Put those giant meteor fuck them both signs in your yard. Do it now. That's the only type of campaign sign I will have in my yard. True or false? Bidenomics in action. Electricity is up 29.3%. Ooh, that is true. Gasoline is up 47.8%. Well, you guys know I haven't had to drive lately because my car doesn't want to, but yeah. Natural gas, 26.9%. Eggs, almost 50%. If you live in the country like me, stop buying eggs. Go buy them from your neighbors. Let's see. Milk, 14.9%. Chickens, 23.9%. And climbing, because you guys know they are pushing the Asian bird flu. So they are decimating chickens from coast to coast, wiping out whole entire processing plants full. Used cars. I know I've been looking for a used car lately, okay, even if I did scrape a couple $1,000s together, maybe I could just buy something else because that would be cheaper than fixing my car. People are asking a lot for used cars right now. It's pretty crazy. Airfare. Dude, who wants to get the fuck on a plane right now? Boeing? Every week, Boeing has a plane fall out of the sky damn near, right? Doors fall off, windows pop out, wheels are falling off. No, I'll pass. Thank you very much. Even if it was down 30%, I wouldn't buy a plane ticket. And transportation, 32. Yeah, this is just the reality of our economy. And like I was saying at the top of the show, you guys know I did the family garage sale this weekend, and I saw firsthand. It's been a year since the last garage sale, and people were not taking their wallets out, man. They did not want to pay. They They wanted to nickel and dime you down, and I get it, to try to make those dollars stretch, right? So, yeah, it's hurting everybody, even the garage sales. Janet, let's see. We are enjoying a remarkable recovery. My grocery bill has determined that was a lie. That was a lie, Janet. You know it's a lie. Professor Richard Wolf went to school with you, and he says, you're a liar, liar, pants on fire. Professor Richard Wolf actually did drop something last week that was really interesting if you haven't seen it. The Biden administration's chosen people. Jews are 2% of the American population, but 34% of the White House staff, including the chief of staff. Why do so much of a small minority of Americans take up so much power? It's a good question, Oz, but it's not just the Biden administration where that's happening. Just to point it out, right? And a lot of these have dual citizenship. I know I've been called a conspiracy theorist for this, but it's true. It's true. I promise you it's true. Joe Biden's disapproval rating, the 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling said women do not have the sole right to say what should happen to their bodies. I don't like the Supreme Court's decision on abortion, he told the Washington Post in 1974. So Joe Biden has sucked 50 years. 50 years Joe Biden has sucked. I don't think that a woman has the sole right to say what should happen to their body. He was one of the 2 Democrats supporting an amendment that would allow states to overturn Roe v. Wade, New York Times Archives, 1982. But yet, please, Democrats, tell me again how Biden is saving your right to choose. Because he doesn't give 2 shits about your right to choose. We've been telling you this. You know, they're never going to codify Roe. Shut up. Shut up. I'm over it. These foods have the most glyphosate in them. Let's see what they are. What are they, Oz? Aw, this makes me sad. Well, for one, a lot of this don't buy because it comes out of Israel. Don't buy that classic hummus, the Sabra. Yeah, no, get Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek's better, and it's made here in the United States. I know. I'm a Jew, and I love hummus. Hummus. I took it with me to the garage sale. What can I say? Yeah, a lot of these brands, the Red Mill, that makes me sad, but I have, Bob's Red Mill is full of glyphosate. Cheerios full of glyphosate. Oatmeal full of glyphosate. Pretty much if it's a breakfast cereal, it's full of glyphosate. Just know. As Miss Amber would tell us, glyphosate's in everything. They're doing it again because you didn't hang them the last time. If you haven't noticed, they're trying to fearmonger you over bubonic plague and the bird flu. So just be on the lookout. I don't even know what this is. We're going to play it. We're going to move into Hollyweird. We'll get through Meme Alley, and we should be out of here by 12:30. Thanks for hanging in with me today. Let's find out what this is about.
Okay, so I have to do this really quick video because I was listening to the radio today and they were talking about this huge international summit in Washington, D.C. that I am not hearing on the news. I love headline news. I love headline podcasts, but everyone does them, and I'm not interested in them because I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm kind of nerd when it comes to politics. I like policy and stuff like that. But there's an international bird flu summit that's taking place, and all these folks about pandemics are coming together to talk about how to be prepared about the massive bird flu that could possibly start happening in 2 weeks. How to be prepared in birds and cattle and pets and people. And everything is online. Breakout sessions, what they're talking about. Media's not talking about this.
This is like
no one's talking about this. Everyone's coming to Washington, D.C. October 2nd for this huge bird flu summit. They start discussing at this summit control functions, civil unrest, how to manage civil unrest.
Event 201.
The breakout sessions are absolutely insane in here. Implementing isolation measures in correctional facilities, controlling social unrest and public disorder. These are things that they're going to be talking about. Not only that, first responders, fire departments, they have keynote presenters. Everything is online. You can see the whole weekend. Nothing conspiratorial. I could post this and it may not go far considering all algorithms are changing now. But there's a lot of stuff that is going on in October. They're talking about hospital emergency services, preparing people for possibly another pandemic. And
Wow.
people have to be prepared, and they have to know what is going on, because no one's talking about it. And when I hear something like this, the first thing I can do is get to the airwaves, because I'm wondering, what are they doing? I have these guys behind me that I take care of 24/7, that I adore. And what's going to happen? And no one's talking about it. Are they preparing something? Because of what it sounded like that I heard today on talk radio was it could start in 2 weeks. This was FM radio, not AM radio, not anything. 2 weeks.
They would love that,
and
wouldn't
it's
they?
all online. October 2nd, the Bird Flu Summit International. They're coming.
Okay, so Bird Flu Summit International, October 2nd. You can look it up yourself. Very reminiscent of the Event 201 practice run that they had in October of 2019 as we came into COVID of 2020. Yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You can call me that all day long, but it's not a conspiracy, guys. It's out there. It's in plain sight. They're telling you the workshops. They're telling you the things they're going to cover. Kind of a coinkydink, right? Angela Merkel and other satanic globalists in a plane preparing for chemtrails. What? No, those aren't real. Those are contrails. Everybody knows it. What? Yeah, that's right. Chemtrails. Anyways, that shit's not real. We all know that's a conspiracy theorist. Hollywood, go F yourself. We got a couple of things in here. A lot of deaths the last couple of days. Oh, shit. Where'd this come from, Oz? Oz is always getting me with something. We got a Fee says here. This is so gross. This is little Billy Maher. Is this gross character of a spoiled Hollywood punk. His rich boy arrogant posture should be a slap in the face to viewers instead of the few that watch him continue their march to permanent brain damage. Sophie says Julian Assange can't be a traitor to a country he isn't from. Maher isn't this stupid. He's just a shill who needs to keep cashing checks. Okay. Not Lawrence again. This guy made my deck twice today. Dang.
Now that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, oh, good, let's get to this. What?
Oh, it's good.
Me too. Has pled guilty to espionage and secured his freedom. I didn't see this coming, by the way. I didn't think he'd ever get out. What will his legacy be? Yes.
Time served.
What a dick.
Time served. He served 6 years, and that's what he's getting.
No, but they're talking about his legacy, and that's what I want to know. Is he a heroic crusader exposing government lies, or he is a reckless traitor who was endendering our
You're a
freedom?
reckless traitor.
I mean, it depends who you ask. I think that the more people have been, I think that he is an example of his prosecution. The charges against him are one of the biggest attacks on freedom of the press that we've seen and freedom of speech.
I agree with that. Yes, Kelsey got that right.
You would go the other way.
Daniel Ellsberg looks good right now.
What?
Daniel Ellsberg looks very good right now.
Yes, Daniel Ellsberg does.
And the Pentagon Papers was about how the Kennedy administration and Johnson administration, not Nixon, what they did to lie about the war.
Damn
well,
right.
I don't know all the particulars. I mean, you'd have to really
Rest in peace,
spend
Daniel
months and
Ellsberg.
months going through the amount of stuff he put out. But in general, I think the world's full of bad people. Like I was saying to Ray,
like
the world's full of bad people. And yeah, I think sometimes you need somebody to put the hammer down. I think Obama said this, and just say, I'm sorry, you can't expose our secret agents.
He quotes Obama.
And we have to think of our security first. I mean, yes, I'm sure the government does some gnarly things, but I don't like this. I don't like a guy who pretends that he's the patriot when it's the spies out there who are protecting this country, not Julian Assange.
Oh, shut
because there
up,
are people
you
who
dick
want
bag.
to destroy this country. And there are people who are plotting to get nuclear weapons and all the rest of it. And this guy is not the one who made sure that we have not
You're
really
wrong.
been attacked since 9/11.
You're so wrong. Oh, that was terrible. That was so terrible. Oh, my God. I'll probably take a smack from Max for that, but I don't even care. Tulsi, at least Tulsi got that one right. Raise your hand if you think Tulsi might get tapped to be Trump's VP. I don't know. She's been out there doing the rounds and saying a lot of Republicanist type of stuff. But I think Fair and Balanced said the other day it was going to be J.D. Vance. I don't know. We'll keep our eyes peeled, right? I got this one from Jax. Jax, I couldn't agree more. Hollywood can go fuck itself. So Kevin Bacon says, this is 66. Oh, look at how sexy I am. And Jax says, being extremely rich, having servants and personal trainers, sleeping as much as you want, and never worrying about money is really good for you. It really is good for you. Somebody pointed out in Jack's chat that his nipple placement doesn't look quite right. Maybe a little nip and a tuck and some work done here, right? A lot of people are like, oh, but he doesn't even live in Hollywood. Him and Kira have a ranch. Yeah, they have a ranch where they have no stress. No stress at all. Little different than you and I. When you can age gracefully in the fucking trailer park, stressing to pay your bills every 3.5 to 4 weeks, then you can tell me that you're aging gracefully. Employee of the month, Jack Black. Yes, he kissed some booty ass this month, and it was super gross. It was gross. We lost a few people in the last few days. Richard Simmons was one of them. If you followed Richard Simmons, like I did, my whole entire life, for a couple of different reasons. My mom loved him. You know, she loved the sweating to the oldies back in the 80s. And then years later, I moved to Louisiana, and he was a New Orleans native, which made me love him all the more. But he kind of turned into a recluse the last 10 years. There was a lot of people worried that some of his caregivers were not taking care of him. They were using him for his money, that type of thing. And sadly, he passed this week. So Pauly Shore, now, if you haven't seen it, Pauly Shore, quite a few months ago, and I've told you guys about this, he did a short movie where he portrays Richard Simmons, and he freaking nails it. Now, we haven't seen Pauly Shore for a long time, and I was a big Pauly Shore fan back in the 90s. Most of the Gen Xers were. And I just got to say, Pauly does a great job, and he deserves to get to play Richard Simmons. And if you don't agree with me, go check out the clip over on YouTube. Just type in Pauly Shore, Richard Simmons, and you will come across the short. He does an amazing job, and I think that he deserves the right. Let's see. Pauly says, I just got word, like everyone else, that the beautiful Richard Simmons has passed. I hope you're at peace and twinkling up the heavens. Please give my mom, Mitzi, and my father, Sammy, a big hug and kiss for me. You're one of a kind, Richard. An amazing life, an amazing story. They broke the dolphin shorts when they made you. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. And, come on, Don the Con. Crap, Richard Simmons. Yeah, that's kind of what happened, right? That's definitely what happened. But wait, there's more. Shelley Duvall. Yeah, I have Shelley Duvall on here. Oz, you got to look at the deck, man. I had a lot of these already on here. Let's see here. Shannon Doherty, star of Charmed in Beverly Hills. 90210 dies at 53. Devoted daughter, sister, aunt, and friend. Yeah, sadly, she passed too. But if you know, Shannon Doherty fought cancer most of her adult life. I mean, when we were kids, even when she was back on 90210 as Brenda, she had breast cancer. So very sad. And JB, let's see. Oh, Hill Street Blue actor. I didn't see this. Doogie Howser. Oh, this was Doogie Howser's dad, right? Remember him? I do. James B. Sking? Sking, was that his name? I do remember him. Right. Yeah, I do. Oh, that's sad. 90, though, that's a good damn run, right? That's for sure. And then, of course, we had Shelley Duvall. That last slide should have been with this one. And if you don't remember who Shelley Duvall was, she played Olive Oil in Popeye, the original Popeye, huh? Popeye, you know. But let's not forget what Dr. Phil did to her. I don't know, a couple years ago, right? He decided he was going to get some ratings off of her, and he brought her on his show, and it was just awful. The things that he said, and obviously she wasn't in a good place mentally. She had addiction. You know, she's poor. She didn't have the money that she had from all of her days of Hollywood, and we know why, because in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the managers, the studios, they ripped these actors off. They have nothing, right? So here's just a small remembrance of what Dr. Phil did to Shelley Duvall.
Not surprisingly, over the course of 21 years in a high-profile position, you have been involved in a few controversies. In 2016, you interviewed Shelley Duvall, and who was obviously very mentally ill, and this is how it was promoted. Take a look.
I loved Robin Williams. I don't think he's dead.
Where do you think he is?
Shape-shifting.
Do you see him?
I love it. I love
Star's descent into mental illness.
The man who's threatening me is the sheriff of Nottingham. I think there's a whirring disc inside
Reminds me of my mama.
I'm very sick. I need help.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Some folks said that you exploited her mental
He exploited
condition.
her. He
Do
did.
you regret what you did there?
No.
Oh, I don't regret what I did. I regret that it was promoted in a way that people thought was unbecoming. And
What a
there are parts
douchebag.
of that story that I haven't talked about and won't talk about in specific, but I can say generally that we worked with her family. We worked with her for over a year off
'cause
camera
you're so great.
after that fact in providing her opportunities for inpatient and outpatient psychiatric care. I can't tell you the extent we went to.
We went to some big extents because, hey, we used her for ratings. Absolutely gross. And I can't wait till these cast of Oprah, Obama characters finally fade off and go the fuck away, right? It's time. Who watches Dr. Phil anyways? Ew. Of course, there was the Alec Baldwin story. We have to cover that for Fuck Hollywood. And yeah, he got off. I haven't had time to watch anything about this story, but I do know that he got off and that the woman who loaded the gun, supposedly, she's doing time. He's not, though. He got a reality TV show with his wife, Hilaria, and all their kids. Her name's Hillary, but she calls herself Hilaria because that's hilarious, right?
I want to say I have
Oh,
no
I ain't watching
recollection
7 minutes of this. I
of
can tell you
calling
that.
him any of those names. I have invited the defendant to tell me what he's talking about, and he has declined. I want the court to take notice of that.
Thank you. You may step down.
Is this court TV? Court TV will
All right, any
always
other
smack
witnesses?
me.
No, Your Honor.
All right, argument, let's not, 15 minutes aside sufficient?
Judge looks like she's really into it.
That is necessary, frankly.
Do you want to make argument?
Further argument.
All right.
I don't think either side needs further argument on this.
All right.
Okay, well, moral of the story, he walked away. He's done. He's good. He is back to being the Democrats' golden boy. I'm sure he'll be out there, campaigning
I wanna say,
for JoJo Magoo this week. Who knows? Who knows? We finally made it to Meme Alley. Let's get through Meme Alley and we can get the hell out of here. If we could all stop listening to people who try to kill us, that would be great. That would be great. Can we stop that? Listening to the Unabomber rant on technology in 1997, listening to the Unabomber's rants about technology now. Yeah, you got to agree. I know I've listened a little closer lately, right? Where's the manifesto? I want to read the manifesto. What a beautiful sky. I love it. Let's see. Brainwash Society. He's reading Brainwash Society. That's a good one. Good meme. Love that. Please scan the QR code menu. Me. What the fuck? I did that. We went... Amber and I went out to dinner with the Convo Couch. That was back in the days of Johnny, Fee, and Pasta. We went to this really fancy hoity-toity place in D.C. And as soon as we sit down, they tell you to scan the QR code, right? So I do. And you guys know my eyesight's so bad. There's no way I'm reading a menu on my damn phone. Even if I enlarged it enough to where I could read the words, I could only read one word at a time. I don't think I was very happy with my selection that night, but I got some food. When all the ones who lined up for the clot shot and proudly wore their face diapers are now telling you to Google Project 2025. Oh, I love that one. That's a great one, right? Like they are in the know. They know something you don't. Let's see. In case you've ever wondered why women get so frustrated with our clothing size, every pair of jeans pictured is a size 12. That's right. Women, we don't get the size 32 and a 32 is a 32. No. We got here, this is a 12, maybe in your country, but probably more like a 0. Yeah. And, the days of getting the bra off. The dog takes the dog collar off. The woman takes the bra off. That's cute. Cute one. And what do we got here? When you have a few puffs and start to realize you overreact about a lot of issues in your life, that is what's so good about the marijuana, right? Makes you put things into perspective. Like, does that really matter? I guess it doesn't. Meanwhile, in Michigan, a pothole patch crew gets stuck in a pothole. Aw, Michigan. It's almost like you guys don't have any tax money for your roads. Why? I wonder. A brief history of self-regulation, heavy industry, chemical companies, financial sector, airline industry. Yeah, let's just let them regulate themselves. Who knows better but them? They're the experts of that industry, right? Oh, millennials chilling, watching their 173rd historical event in a real time, wondering if they should make their car payment. I wonder if I should make my house, my bill payments every month. Like, am I going to pay my bills and it's all going to come crashing down 2 days later? I'm going to be pissed if that does happen. I got to tell you. Let's see. Police and media shooter guide, mentally ill terrorist. Yeah, that's an old one, right? We've seen that one for many years. If I had $1 for every time that I see the media manipulating people's minds, yeah, I wish we'd all be rich, right? We would all be. And you suck and all your memes are weak. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. Oz. Like I said, Oz helped a lot on the deck today, so thank you so much. That's hilarious. Yeah, you suck. 1993, you'll be living in a van down by the river. 2023, if you save up $45K, maybe one day you can live in a van down by the river. Yeah, these van lifers, man, it's a whole community, isn't it? And it's expensive. And working on those vans, you guys know I managed a mechanic shop at my last job, and we serviced a lot of the vans. Man, those things are expensive. We're talking, $100 grand, $150 grand for a lot of these vans. Kind of crazy. But they used to say that about to us kids, the Gen Xers. If you don't stop being lazy, you're going to end up living in a van. Like, that was a bad thing. It is. We have to go back in time and destroy AI at the source. Oh, God, not the CNC. Was that the original AI? I think it was. The pig goes, oink, oink. Remember those? Yeah, I do. When Rome was falling, they constantly had circuses to distract people. Remember that when you see everything going on. Yes, we do have lots of bread and circus in this country. That's what it is. She believed she could, but it was 91 degrees out and humid outside, so she didn't. And this is sound advice, guys. If it's 91 degrees out there, just don't. Just don't even bother. It ain't even worth it. And dying from thirst in 2038 because my Neuralink blocked hydration due to not being a Nestle water subscriber. Oh, I think that's closer than 2038. That's more like 2030. Just so you know, Nestle owns your water. If you haven't figured that out, they do. They'll steal it, or some other corporation will. Okay, we still have people. We're fighting for their freedom. David McBride is one of them. Of course, we've talked about David McBride. There is the address. You can write him, give him words of encouragement. Here is our to-do list for all of us Assange activists. We still have people to free. And there they are. So let's free them. Keep fighting. And, we made it to the end. Joey's Coffee. Make sure you get some Joey's Coffee. You can reach out to Oz or I and get some Joey's. Joey's in your cup. I could actually use some more Joey's. I let my coffee sit here and get cold, darn it. I hate when I do that. I guess I didn't need any more. And thank you, Mastermind. Mastermind made this for me. If I remember right, it's really loud. Let me turn it down. before I turn it on. There we go. I'm getting better about the sound. That's much better. Ah. I don't want to be in the desert today, I can tell you that. Ooh, I look like Madonna there. I look like Madonna. Thank you, Mastermind. I love that. And shout out to INN. Thank you so much for the Indie Media Awards. If you guys aren't following INN, Heartlands Media, all of our pals and buddies out there, make sure you do. Today's going to be a banger. You know it. I mean, we had Jimmy yesterday. We should have Jimmy again today would be my guess. But you'll have all your regulars lined up. Kit was great this morning, so you know. You can send me money. Don't send me dick pics. Send me money. I appreciate money. And I think we're out of here. Oh, Oz made the card. Yay, this is the first Monday we've had a card in a couple of weeks. What is it? I guess this is a good sign. That means you're going to have a full-on Beauty and the Boomer come Saturday. That's what this card tells me. And let's see. What's the music? I have no idea. Turn it up. What is this? Oh. Good song choice. Aw, makes me want to go to the park. See the curtains hanging on a window in the evening. Okay, you guys know how this works. If you want to hear the whole song, you got to show up Saturday night and watch. So good choice. Love it. Great card, Oz. Thank you so much for all your help with this deck. Oz and I built this deck together this day because he knew I was busy with the garage sale and then the Trump thing happened. So Oz is always behind the scenes helping me out. Okay, come on. Okay, I think we're out of here. Let me shout out the chat one more time before we get out of here. I think I gotta pop it back out. Which chat is this? Beauty and the Boomer, yeah. Pop chat out. Oh, that's weird. Well, Go Start, what's up? I see you hanging out on Rumble. And who else we got over there? Tommy Knocker, good to see ya. A Dingo Amy Baby, and Vaholics. They were all hanging out on the Rumble this morning. Rokfin, I see you, Rokfin. What's up, Rokfin? Did the Rokfin work for you guys? I couldn't get into Rokfin this morning. I don't know what that's all about. Tech support. I need tech support for Rokfin. Help me out here. What's up, tech support? Good to see ya. Hi, Lynn. What does that say? You guys know I have an eye appointment on Wednesday, so no show Wednesday because I'm going to go get the eyeballs fixed. And you guys know I need it really bad. I'm blind as a bat. I'm trying to figure out what this name is. Rifle or Roly Bully. I'm sorry. I can't read it. My eyes just won't let me do it. Denver Attaway, good to see you. But thank you to Roly Bully. Is that what it is? Roly Bully. And who else is hanging out over here? We got Gregory Walker. Good to see you, Gregory. And, oh, I see a bunch of links getting dropped over on the Rumble, or the Rokfin. Rokfin, my bad. Who else is over here? I see Lynn. Aram. Hi, Aram. Happy Monday, Aram. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I will show up for tomorrow morning's meeting. Imagine that. Because I never make it to the Tuesday morning meeting. And Laura, thank you for joining us. And, of course, Kate's hanging out over there. So good to see everybody hanging out on the alternative media platforms. Just know YouTube is going to be very limited. I mean, they're getting ready to kick us. We know that a whole bunch more authoritarian controls are going to roll out here in the next couple of weeks. By design, we know it. So, and let's see, let me get the last chat in here. Beauty and the Boomer, Trailer Park Pundit, there we go. I have so many chats open. Bear with me, guys. Pop out this chat. I didn't have them popped out because I have like a restream bot that kind of crams them all in together, and I can't read them. You guys know. Anyways, let's see who's hanging out. Kate's still here. I see Kate still hanging out. Steve Wolfbrand, good to see you. Hey, Sean, Cord Lord Flight. Is that really your name? Okay. And Solar Moon, good to see you. Rich in Wisconsin. Lady Alex got your wrench. I'm so glad. Welcome. Lady Alex, of course, is one of our Patreons. You guys are all, half of y'all are my Patreons. Cold Fusion Gaming, great show. Thank you so much. Oz is the shite. Isn't Oz the shite? Ozzy says Oz is the shite. I think all Oz's are the shite. That's just me. Bad Cookie, thanks for hanging out. Jilly Love. Jilly Love is one of our main mods, if you didn't know, and a content contributor. Constantly, I am checking my messages to make sure, because you guys send me stuff, I try to put it out. Make sure you join the Discord, guys. I see the Discord link has been dropped in the chat. Who else is hanging out in here? I got Ozzy. Desert Mantis, good to see you. And Alpha Boomer B-Ray, good to see you. And let's see who else is in here. Anthony. I don't know why Oz always does that, but I'm going to continue to do it. Good to see you, Anthony. Lady Alex, I got Lady Alex. I got Steve. Bad Cookies, did I get Bad Cookies? Popeye, where are you? I don't see you out there, Popeye. I know you're out there, though. I get it. Sometimes you guys have stuff to do, but I do miss you if I don't see you in the chat. Okay, this has been a great day. Great show. We had fun. We talked, and I will be back. Honestly, I don't know. You guys know my life is crazy, but we're definitely going to be back Saturday night for Beauty and the Boomer. It's been 2 weeks. I'm super excited to do one. You'll have to join me for that. Oz did all of our music today, so thank you so much for our closer. This is King's Country. I ran so far away. Oh, we got some flock of seagulls coming in for our closer today. Okay, I'm out of here. I will see you for sure Saturday night, but you never know. I might do a show Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, somewhere in there. And we're going to do a dedicated Patreon stream. I will let you know once I figure out what day it's going to be and when it's going to be. So you guys have a great rest of your week. And thanks so much for joining me. And remember, you're always welcome at the trailer park. Oh, wait. Let me restart it. Okay, wait. Pause. Okay, restart. There we go. Okay, now I'm out of here. Let me turn it down a little. It seemed a little loud. Where is it? Closer. There we go. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later.